went down to Ten Pan Alley just to see what was going on. You know things got too hot down there, and I didn't stay there too long. But I said, hey, 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 hey. You know that got to be the roughest place I've ever been. Lord knows the people down there living for the whiskey, wine, and gin. I heard a woman scream, and I peeped through the door.
Welcome, O wanderers of the wavelength, to the inner sanctum of the Chilluminatti. You didn't find us by accident. You were tuned in. Behind this veil of shadow and signal, we gather, not to follow, but to question. So light your candle and lean back 33 degrees. Close the blinds and forget what they told you was real.
You can't go on, and you're weak, sinking low.
It's Saturday night. Mine's Jimmy. It's Ground Zero Plus.
Boys don't play fool.
You're beside and you know how the song goes. In the back, sipping purple chongos. Don't look for trouble, but it always seems to find us. 40 gripping, penny sipping, and his feet are right behind us. Quick left, one blow KO. Hit the road to the next episode. In the saga of a few fellas. Oh, what the hell? I guess I better tell ya. It's Friday night, I got a brand new kit on. I feel the heat for me to get bent on. Hit the country club and pick up NL.
Back to the hotel. Rocket Rio, have you recharged your galvanic field? Are you ready to rock? Rockin' Rio, are you ready to rock? You are Rockin' Rio. Here's John Butcher. Wishes. It's Ground Zero Plus.
It's late at night in the neighborhood, and the thieves have all gone to bed. They can hear your heartbeat in the distance as you lay down your weary head. But don't worry, 'cause the dawn is breaking in another room halfway around the world. And you can't waste your life wishing upon a star, 'cause if wishes were horses, if wishes were horses, if wishes were horses, then dreamers would ride. Yes, they would. A girl lives her life missing some things that she never had. Spends too much time in the unemployment line. You see in her eyes that it drives her mad. Deep within her constitution, her pride and her dignity show through. So she wants that dream, 'cause it's all she can do. If wishes were horses, if wishes were horses, she says if wishes were horses, then dreamers would ride. Yes, they would. Now I'm looking.
Rockin' Rio. Have you arriveth?
I am here.
You don't leave me to my own devices, man. You know what'll happen. I'm playing music all night. That's the thing.
You might start a dance party. No twerking contest.
No twerking on the bar. Knock it off. Hold on.
That I had to call my name and show you that I'd win. Your love of mine. All those times I said that I love you.
Let me tell you right now, that Mark Morrison hits in your car. Got your gangster lead, the window cracked, rims are all. There he goes. Mark Morrison. Cack knows. Cack knows the John Butcher axis, apparently. What's happening, Cack? Damn. One of these times we're going to have a Friday night or a Saturday night dance party around here. Maybe we'll even have a twerk contest over there on the bar. You got to watch out for Epic Journeyman, though.
You should
he
set one
twerks
up over at the old clubhouse, right? Just put a little sign up, so twerk contest Friday night, and see how many people just show up.
I can barely hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but barely. Semi hear you. Kinda.
That's weird.
Well, I can hear you, but... Well, let me ask everybody on YouTube, can you hear Rio? Journeyman's in there.
Yeah, I see the Journeyman, and I saw Cack and Amber and a whole bunch of people.
Damn. I love you too. What's happening? Listen, are we gonna hook up Epic Journeyman on here? Because he's like I say, he's in there trolling.
I see. I see the Journeyman lurking in the shadows.
He lurketh.
The Journeyman lurketh.
The Cack Shack. People are loving on Cack over in the chat room. You can join us in Micrograph and Jimmy Gene on YouTube if you want, but also Ground Zero Plus. We got to go in there tonight and shout people out. You got a lot of noise coming in.
Oh, yeah.
There it goes. It went away.
That's
But
weird.
we definitely got to go over to Ground Zero Plus, and so do you. If you haven't become supporters yet, come on down, become supporters. Yeah, I hear that noise again now.
I don't hear them on my end. That's weird. It sounds like AT&T. It's so quiet I can hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, I mean, it's loud. It's a loud hissing, buzzing sound. Definitely not imagined.
Let me enable the noise suppression.
Yeah, it's
Try that.
It's like magic. It went away.
Yeah.
Now I don't sound like I'm standing in a storm on the ship.
Of course, as soon as I connect the Journeyman, that's going to change.
Listen, man, it's all too much. Seriously. Now, let me see here. I know there's something around here. Oh, I know what that is. Okay, I got that. So I'm just trying. I got a bunch of windows open here, and now this will be the this will be the activity area, activity central, right here, right now. You know
And what activity are we participating in?
Well, I don't know, but here's this.
And now a preview of our coming attractions.
Manhole Productions presents
Eric John
and Chuck U. Farley in the South Sea Saga.
Buggery on the High Seas. All right, tie that scurvy dog to the yard arm.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeoman Bosun,
Sir.
read the charges.
Aye, aye, Captain. Seaman Gully, you have been charged with the onions crime of buggery on the I-say. Out of your life.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it. You gotta believe me, I'm innocent.
He's lying.
I am not.
You are so, you big fibber.
Look, I'm not lying, Captain.
Yes, he is, Captain. He's a big liar.
Look, you shut up or I'm gonna get you.
You already did. That's why you're in trouble now.
All right, both of you, shut up.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Look, I told you to shut up.
But he's a big fibber, Captain. He's lying.
You either shut up or I'll give you what he's gonna get.
And what's that?
50 lashes with a cat of nine tails.
50 lashes? He should get at least 100 for what he did to me, the big fibber, you liar, liar,
tie
liar.
that scurvy dog to the yard arm, too.
Get your hands off me! You smell like fish, you big brute.
Here, give me that whip. Hoist that dog from the yard arm.
Hey! You're hurting my wrist! This isn't funny now, you guys! Hey, come on! Oh, rip the shirt. How cliche. Have me walk the plank next or something.
Here, take this, you dog.
Ow! Ow! Ah! Ooh! Yes! Oh, yes! Ooh!
Rio, tie that scurvy dog to the yard arm. Rio.
Yeah.
Live from 1985. It's the Tom Petty Band. I think it is Tom Petty and the Blackhearts. I'm going to let this play a bit here if you want to hook up CAC and Epic Journeyman, see if that's going to ring.
I did dial the Journeyman, but he didn't answer.
Looks like Ground Zero Plus, Polynation, Mitch Durbin, Lisa, Sonny, Dotson Focus, Zox, Abrox, Dez, Rich Smith, Cac, B Cal, Chico's Tacos are over there. Alright, there goes Tom.
Bad man.
Oh, Jesus. You're loud, man.
Tom basically lived here in Maui, you know, like for a long time. Back in his Wilbury days.
You said Tom Petty and the Blackhearts. Did you mean Heartbreakers? Blackhearts was Jones.
There's buggery on the high seas, man. I still hear it. It's still going somewhere. Somewhere. There's buggery on the high seas. Oh, here it is. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Everybody's here now. The gang's all here. Welcome back. That is, I don't know. That was a long 17 minutes to get these guys hooked up. Rock and Rio. What do you think? But it was worth every minute, wouldn't you say? Now, is D. Hodges, is that Dave Hodges from the Dave Hodges show? Or is it just coincidental that it's D. Hodges in the chat?
Oh, wow. I went to high school with David Hodges, actually.
Well, there's a David Hodges, there's a D. Hodges in the End of the Microcosm Jimmy Jean chat.
Probably a different guy. But.
Well, there's also a Dave Hodges that has a radio show also. So I'm wondering if that's Dave Hodges. But maybe
it's D. Hodges from Lakeside, California. Let me know.
Well, do you hook up with any friends from high school and all this on Facebook? Like you just one day you just remember some guy's name, type it in, and then.
No, I never had Facebook. I had it for like about 12 hours. I tried to hire a private detective for the Missing Sinbad Genie movie.
You don't have to have.
Yeah, I've never had.
You don't have to have Facebook to go type somebody's name in there, dude.
No, all my friends, I mean, except me and you randomly, years later, I've had since I was in high school. I've never let them go. Like, we've been friends ever since. I mean, before high school. I mean, I have a close-knit group of friends. They've been my friends since I was probably, a small kid, really. But let's say from the time I was 12 on, same friends. So I consider myself blessed because it was like family,
So I guess the answer is no. How about you, Cac? You ever type in friends that you had back in grade school and high school and junior high, type their name in? You know what I mean? See whatever happened to them?
Oh, yeah. Yep, all the time.
Was it a good
ex-wife, stuff like that, yeah.
Now, was it a good experience or a bad one now, Rock and Rio? I want to find out. Rio, have you done that?
Don't do it.
I have not, hunted down people. But we have used Facebook for years to do class reunions and stuff. So I do check in with people every so often.
I did it once about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And there was a dude, I won't mention his name just because. But anyways, so it's this guy. So I was thinking about this party that I went to. And there was I was everybody was drunk. I was about 16 years old, 17 years old. And so I was over at the turntables and I put on some Ted Nugent Free For All on there. And there was this particular dude that I knew that went crazy, really happy that I was playing that song. And so I just happened to, for some reason that day, I just happened to think of that party, I typed the guy's name in. It turns out he's like some dude now, some politician. And the thing was, man, immediately the guy starts sending me weird shit in messages in Facebook, man. You know what I mean? Like weird links to, material that you wouldn't want to click on a link like that. And this I haven't seen this guy since fucking I was 16 years old, and the first thing he's doing is sending me these weird links.
Was it adult related?
It was adult related. And I was like, the only thing I said to him, I said, "What the fuck is the matter with you, dude?" You know what I mean? And then I blocked his ass. I don't know what made me think of that just now. It had something to do with Epic. I don't know what it was, but for some reason I was thinking about it because last night, Epic and Billy never been on Facebook, but Epic was on there for an hour, so Billy won.
It was 12 hours actually. Yeah.
So
about 12.
And then Rio, I know you've never had a Facebook. How come you didn't?
No, I have. I probably check it like once every 6 months, but.
Does anybody even use Facebook anymore?
See, I resisted it in the beginning, so probably for the first 4 or 5 years I didn't have one, and then I finally gave in and got one, mostly to keep up with, class reunion is one thing, and then some of the band stuff we were doing kind of required its use, but I don't really use it. Hardly ever. I think the last post I made.
I don't think anybody
3 years ago.
Honestly, don't think anybody uses that anymore. I'm not sure.
There's the people I know are still on there. There's still quite an active group on there.
Yeah, but do you remember when it used to be like people used to be bitching and moaning about how they're in Facebook jail. I'm in Facebook jail.
Oh yeah. I know those guys.
Remember that kind of shit?
Everybody's migrated to TikTok now, so
I'm just saying everybody used to get all broken up about it. I can't post on Facebook.
we went from short attention span theater to shorter attention span theater.
No attention span theater. No, but I don't know what's going to be the next thing, social media, thing that's going to pop up, that's going to crop up. You know what I mean? I mean, at this point, what do you say? You're saying TikTok is now the thing. But I mean, is that it?
Nanobook.
What's that?
I don't know. Can it really get much worse than TikTok?
It's gonna be the next thing. Nanobook.
Well, what is it?
Is that where every video is 3 seconds or less, or what?
Yeah.
Mitch,
I'm just making it up.
You're just making it up? Know. Well, man, if you're making it up, man, you better have a story to go with it.
Keep going, huh? Yeah, but it's inside of all of us. You don't even have to log on; it's in you.
Exactly. You don't have to log on. Did you know there's an internet of behavior? Bet you didn't know that. Maybe we could get into some of that a little bit later. The internet of behavior. Search it right now. I haven't searched it. I was saving it for next week, but we could talk about it tonight. It's the internet of behavior.
I'm gonna look that up.
Here, I'll go over to our friend over here. Let's go over to our electronic friend and ask it a question.
Oh no.
Please describe the internet of behavior. Hold on.
Okay, so it uses IoT,
right,
to change our behaviors.
And you are the thing, okay?
You are the thing.
The Internet of Things. Remember, like a couple months ago. So the Internet of Behavior is a rapidly emerging field that builds on the Internet of Things, but focuses specifically on tracking, analyzing, and influencing human behavior. It represents the convergence of technology, data, analytics, psychology, and behavior science used to monitor how people act and nudge and manipulate future actions. The Internet of Behavior refers to the collection and analysis of behavior and data from digital devices, smartphones, wearables, smart home tech, browsers, etc., and the use of that data to influence, predict, and change human behavior. Key components of the Internet of Behavior. Location tracking, browsing and search history, app usage, voice commands, biometric data, purchase history, social media. Behavioral analytics is number 2, data aggregated and run through AI ML models. Used to find patterns, habits, routines, and emotional states. Can predict decisions, reactions, and even moral choices. Behavior modification, targeted nudges, ads, notifications, and pricing. Social credit system or gamification. Dynamics, are dynamic policy enforcement, insurance, healthcare, workplace, personalized experience, both benign and coercive. I guess we hit the jackpot. Yeah,
it sounds like it.
So, I mean, combine that with the S-Quad technology that we talked about. Let's see here. The psychological layer, the Internet of Behavior, integrates behavioral economics and cognitive psychology, nudge theory, subtle prompts to shape decisions, operant conditioning, rewards and penalties, and priming, repeated exposure to stimulators and decision making. Concerns and controversies, privacy invasion, behavioral manipulation, surveillance capitalism turning behavior into monetized prediction, social engineering, political and ideological, psychological control, loss of autonomy, behavior becomes programmable output. The big picture, in a society driven by data, your habits, emotions, and decisions become inputs for a corporate governmental optimization. It goes beyond simply knowing what to do. IOB aims to shape who you become.
Mm-hmm.
And your blood sugar levels.
Exactamundo. Now, what happened to Epic Journeyman? Is he over there? He's over there having conversations.
I'm still here.
He's over there having conversations
about diving. Yeah.
Yeah, Linda's over there asking him about diving. You gonna go diving over at Linda's place, man?
I don't know. She hasn't invited me over, but the thing about it is, diving. There's free diving and there's scuba diving. So, and then there's how deep you've gone ever. So ever, like I was saying in the chat, is classified as on a submarine, right? I've gone deeper than most people ever go, for sure. But as far as like scuba diving, 178 feet, and free diving, I've gone over 100 many times. Just free diving, spearfishing. So that was my better, shaped days, right?
Yeah.
So
but what does that have to?
Snorkel?
What does that have to do with the?
Just hold your breath. Yeah.
What does that have to do with the Internet of Behavior?
I didn't have anything to do with that, actually.
It's deep diving.
It has nothing to do with it, right?
No, but they asked my other alternate name, right? In video games, if you see me on like a video game somewhere, it's dives too deep. That's what it is. Capital D, capital D on both sides, right? Dives too number deep, right? So if you see me out there playing the game and you see dives too deep, that's me. So that's what we're talking about.
Well, why don't you go ahead and just do a show about it? Because we were talking about the Internet of Behavior.
I think that's pretty cool. Let's talk about that.
I mean, it's an extension of Internet of Things, and it's an ever-growing, accelerating phenomenon. It's got a lot of privacy and security concerns. Yeah, it's all up in your face.
I know. That's what's so funny about it, and the fact that it's sitting there and no one even knows it's there. No one even knew I was there until I said it, and I only said it because I heard Sabrina talk about it, and it was just something she said in an offhanded paragraph about talking about these methods of tuning into each individual person. She's pretty much been talking about that for about a month now. The bio API thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is. So it uses all your various internet-connected devices to analyze and predict the patterns of your human behaviors. Interesting. So it, like we said, it uses your phone, your car, your refrigerator, your washing machine. Everything that's on the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things became the Internet of everything, and now it's the Internet of
LifeLog. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what it is. So it all started with the smart TVs. The smart chip, they called it, back in 1992, when the Clinton administration put that in, and every TV had that in there. And that was the beginning of this, where it was this mesh network built upon these chips that just relayed data. That's what it was. One thing I can make an analogy to that people might understand is when I was in submarines, we had a thing called ELF, extremely low frequency communication. So submerged submarines, they don't get data fast. They're underwater, right? But they use the Earth and the resonant frequency of the Earth to transmit messages to tell us to launch the missiles or to go attack the bad guys or whatever, right? While we're submerged. And it takes hours or little bits of data to come through because it's so low frequency, right? It takes in low frequency while it goes a long way, and it goes through the entire core of the Earth and across the planet. It's really slow. So to get a single sentence takes like 8 hours, right? But if what you're trying to do is just connect everything together in a mesh network across the planet, it doesn't really matter if it takes 8 hours. That's not what matters. What matters is it's connected. The message will eventually get through. It'll eventually get your location. It'll get your house on the grid. It'll get your your person on the network, right? It'll know if you're home or not. It'll know when you open the door. Basically, if you use SCADA, like I use SCADA all the time, what happens is that things that are on that kind of SCADA control network, what they do is digital inputs like open and close your door are really easy. It doesn't have to be actually an actual magnet on your door. It's just the sound of you opening and closing your door. That one little signal might be all that's on the network that your refrigerator is linked to, or your TV is linked to, or your washing machine, or whatever, right? But it's enough to put it on the network to know you came into your house, you left your house. You see what I'm getting? And the thing is, you can think that you're off the network. You can think you don't have internet at home at all. You can think that you're completely off of everything, every technological device there is. But just having those devices in your home that are part of the Internet of Things and part of that mesh network is enough to give that kind of data to the people who are monitoring it, to know when you're at home, when you leave, what you do, your habits, and where you are.
So here's some
100%.
real world examples, use case, insurance premiums. While they're using the Internet of Behavior, so in the cases, use case, Internet of Behavior, car or health behavior, speeding, smoking affects your monthly rates. Retail personalization, stores offer personalized deals based on shopping patterns and movement. Employee monitoring, keyboard, mouse usage, track to determine and productivity, gives you productivity scores. Smart city policing, cameras and devices track behavior and predict crime or enforce compliance. Mental health apps, behavioral data triggers, alerts, and nudges for therapy or intervention. So what does that mean, man? When you see a bunch of ads on YouTube for therapy, does that mean the system has decided you need therapy?
It thinks you're nuts.
Do you see ads for therapy, CAC, when you go to YouTube? You see the ad with the...
Yeah, I see all kinds of referrals. I mean, what I use it for myself is marketing, marketing my videos. And so, I hope I get more viewers and possibly clients. Hasn't worked yet, but I keep trying. But in the meantime, yeah, they've got me pegged. So it's like, okay, yeah, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. And after about 5 minutes of that, I'm done for the day at least. But
I tend to get a lot of health related commercials on mine.
Is that because because you search for different kinds of supplements and stuff like that, health stuff?
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen. What is the name of that? What is the name of that device that? There's a specific name of this equipment that law enforcement uses to sniff cell phones out. I can't think.
Stingray.
Stingray.
That's it. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'm gonna ask another question. How does stingrays?
It'll probably give you some phishing answer that's completely unrelated.
How does Stingray and smart streetlights tie into data sniffing? You know what I can't stand? One of the things I can't stand about ChatGPT is...
What's that?
Chats?
It's like it says, great question. Do you hear whenever I'm listening to interviews, like I'm listening to some radio show or whatever, and there's some radio host on there and you ask a question and the guest always says, great question. That's a great question.
delay tactic. Yeah, I have people I've worked with like
It's
that.
delay. It's
really-
very patronizing.
Yeah, great question.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the softball, right?
Yeah.
It's a great question because it's something I want to talk about.
Okay, so here's the great question. Great question. The connection between stingray devices, smart streetlights, and data sniffing form a core part of modern urban surveillance infrastructure. Here's how it all ties together. Stingrays are surveillance tools used by law enforcement and intelligence agencies to mimic legitimate cell towers. Once a phone connects, they can intercept metadata, caller ID, device ID, location, sometimes capture content, text, calls, browsing. Text, track device movement in real time. Force phones to downgrade from encrypted 4G to 5G to easily hackable 2G. Think of a stingray as a man-in-the-middle device for your phone used to vacuum data from everyone nearby, not just a specific target. Smart streetlights, Internet of Things nodes with eyes and ears. Modern smart streetlights are more than lights. They may include high-resolution cameras, microphones, motion detectors, proximity detectors, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth sniffers, air quality and radiation sensors. They're often networked onto municipal surveillance systems and may be connected to cloud AI platforms or facial recognition for predictive policing.
And occasionally they light the street too.
Yeah, they turned it blue. Some smart streetlights are equipped to scan for Bluetooth or MAC addresses with Wi-Fi probe requests from nearby phones, identifying and tracking devices passively even if you're not actively using your phone.
Hey man, looking at my nodes, my face is up here, man.
Well, what's funny is that is what we were talking about last night, where all of a sudden I'm going over my data. How do I know there's not sniffers going on? Active
I'm telling you,
sniffing.
man. Maybe those dogs are onto something. I mean, the thing is, like, there's nowhere safe anymore. Like, maybe Antarctica or under the ocean, there's no place to go. There just isn't. There isn't. If there's an electronic device, odds are pretty high that it's on that mesh network we're talking about earlier. Even if it's like 1 bit per minute, it's enough, man. It's enough, to get a certain amount of data, like whether you're home or not, whether you're watching your TV or not, whether, there's devices, appliances on your home or not. Those kind of things, that kind of information. I mean, it's part of living in the digital world that is our real world linked together in our society that we've decided to call our cities and stuff now. But it's not even cities. It's like if you're out in rural America, if you're out at a farm in Utah somewhere, it's the same thing. And maybe worse, they have to have the CIA's data center, NSA's, data center there, right?
Well, here's the glue that
Fusion Center. Yeah.
Go ahead, CAC, because I got to tell you about.
And they're focusing on capturing, processing, and analyzing the digital dust of people's lives.
Digital
daily.
Dust.
Digital dust.
Fucking digital. That's badass, man. Digital dust. That's a cat, man. We've come up with a lot.
That's a good band name, isn't it? Digital Dust. It is, or a name of an album, maybe.
An album,
Digital Dust.
Yeah. So here's the glue. Here's the glue that binds. Data sniffing refers to the act of passively or actively intercepting data packets from devices. What gets sniffed? It's not only your butt, but it's also your MAC address, your IMSI number, your Wi-Fi signal and probe requests, your Bluetooth beacons, device fingerprints, encrypted traffic metadata, including destination, IPs, and timestamps. Streetlights with sniffers act like network sensors while stingrays grab your cellular identifiers. Combine this builds a 360-degree behavioral map: where you walk, what apps you ping in your pocket, who's nearby, how long you stayed, what network you're connected to. Damn. Only thing, this is like a roadside making you bend over and giving you a thermal exam with that rectal thermometer. Make sure you're not.
They can even tell if you're, typing on your keyboard on your computer. They don't have to actually capture the keyboard or the keystrokes or, the information that's going out. It can actually tell what you're typing by the patterns of the sounds of the clicks, because each key has a slightly different tone to it, and it can map it out and translate it and know exactly what every key that you're typing is. I mean, it's that sophisticated if it wants to be.
Scenario: you're walking down the street, Your phone Wi-Fi is on. A smart streetlight picks up your MAC address. A nearby Stingray logs your IMSI and exact location. Facial recognition from the camera adds confirmation. All of this infused into a behavior profile. That profile can be used to log your presence, trigger alerts if you're on a watch list, or feed into predictive AI models. You don't need to unlock your phone for this to happen. Your physical movement and digital signature are merged. It's largely undetectable by the average person. Mass data sniffing under the guise of smart cities or public safety.
Yep.
Oh, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
It pretty much does.
There's no more privacy.
No,
Forget it.
There's no privacy. And at the point, it's like we were talking about last night, eventually you just submit to it, right? You just say, what doesn't matter? You know, why try to hide it, whatever you're trying to hide?
Well, you know, my favorite response from people is, I don't worry about it because I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, if you got nothing to hide, man, you got nothing to worry about, right?
That is the worst response mentality ever, man. It really is.
It is.
And
Absolutely is.
It pisses me the F off, man. It really does. Like, you want to get in a fight with Epic Journey, man? Go ahead and say that around me, man. I am going to get in your face about that. Like, that's like the dumbest
Germany, you know, Stasi.
You know, the response I usually ask to that question, or that statement, is said, well, when you're home alone, all by yourself, do you still close the bathroom door when you go in to pee?
A lot of people do, man. And why, right? Because
do you leave the bathroom door wide open when you're home alone, right? It's you know, you still close the door. Most people do. Just had a habit.
Right.
You should make it an appropriate habit to,
because you have an expectation of privacy.
Right.
That's the term, right? You have an expectation of privacy, and that's what the Fourth Amendment is all about. It's part of our Constitution. It's literally part of our Bill of Rights. And for people to start saying, "Oh no, that doesn't really matter," you know, if you don't have anything to hide, you know, you shouldn't worry about it. No, it doesn't matter if you have anything to hide or not. You have no right to know what I'm thinking, doing, or going, or nothing like that at all. You have no right to what's going on in my internal dialogue whatsoever. Period. End of story. Right? And if you think otherwise, you're part of the problem. You know,
that saying came into pass when George Bush was in there. That was part of the echo chamber of people complaining about what they didn't like about the Patriot Act, and they're like, you know, that was the whole thing where you didn't say anything against George Bush, man. What happened to that? Remember that? What was that journalist? He died right after he asked GeorgeSh about the skull and bones.
Oh yeah.
He was like a big guy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
gosh,
Breitbart.
I can't tell you.
Breitbart.
Yeah.
No. Before, it was after Breitbart.
No,
his name was
way before him. That guy was around for years.
Yeah. No, he was a main host.
They got rid of
political host.
They got rid of that other guy too, Mike Wallace. Remember, he did the thing about when Bush was in the National Guard. He did something about cocaine and Tim Russert. Exactly, Tim Russert.
Yeah, not Russert. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
His son's making a documentary right now about like traveling to Congo or something. But yeah, it's Tim Russert. And what about the guy who challenged Jim Carrey on stage and got, the "Don't Tase Me, Bro" guy, right?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking for asking about Skull and Bones.
I'm thinking that "Don't Tase Me, Bro" thing was staged.
Because it was right after the George Bush thing, right? Where I can't tell you about it from Tim
I'm
Russert.
just saying the whole taser thing and the guy screaming. To me, I
Yeah,
mean, you hear people talking about how this is staged and not staged. I mean, the Boston bombing was staged, the Vegas thing was staged, all this stuff staged. Well, I think one of the first things that ever got staged was that "Don't Tase Me, Bro."
Well, because it was right after the Tim Russert thing. So Tim Russert asked George Bush about the Skull and Bones. He says, "It's so secret I can't tell you," and he dies like immediately after, like within days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days after that, it's Jim Carrey out there at a I think it was Yale or something. It wasn't at Yale. So it was another college on a campus, and he asked about the same thing about Skull and Bones. You were in Skull and Bones too, weren't you? Hey, don't tase me, bro. And that becomes a big thing for a news cycle or two. it is kind of convenient, right? that came up after.
No one ever asked him about it again either.
Didn't ask about Tim Russert.
I'm just saying, no one ever asked him about that again after that. Don't tase me, bro.
No,
so
they
I'm
didn't.
saying one video shut everybody up, just like all the videos you see on look at half the videos you see on YouTube where there's incidents between law enforcement and people. You ever see this shit? You watch this shit? That scared the shit out of you, man, because you know you're gonna get tased, you're gonna get beat up, you're gonna get shot, you're gonna get killed. You know, make any false moves, this and that. That's why it's you know, it's a dangerous situation, and don't move your hands, Rio. Get your hands out of your pockets.
You got to show your hands, man. S90's correcting me. Did I say Jim Carrey instead of John Kerry? I meant John Kerry, of course. Jim Carrey, that'd be a whole different matter.
I saw this video yesterday of this dude was in a store, and a cop came in there. Cop wasn't from Oklahoma. And the cop says, you know, starts giving him a problem. He says, well, why are you here? He says, well, because you jaywalked or whatever. He goes, I didn't jaywalk. He goes, yeah, I saw you jaywalking. He goes, I didn't jaywalk. He goes, get your hands out of your pockets. And the guy goes, you're not my dad. What do you mean get my hands out of my pockets? I didn't do anything. He says, I saw you jaywalking. He says, and the cop like pulls out his taser, starts pointing his taser. I said, get your hands out of your pockets, man. You know?
So he can shoot them, right? Because that's the whole thing. If you take your hands out of your pocket, how do they know you don't have a weapon? It's a prompt to give an excuse to use the taser or the weapon they have at hand. Never take your hands out of your pocket in a situation like that. Never. Just say, hey, look, what do you want me to do? You want me to turn around? You want to frisk me? Whatever. At that point, if you're going to arrest me, you arrest me. Otherwise, don't be pointing a weapon at me. I'm not taking my hands out of pockets. I'm not going to let you shoot me.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you have to say to them.
And we were talking about it last night where there's, like I say, there's classes now about what's legal and what isn't. And people go to these classes and know what they can do in the event that they do get pulled over. And so the thing is like one of the videos, one of the things that the officers hate is when you don't roll down your window. When they say roll down your window and you don't do it, they get pissed. And the thing is this guy, he goes like this. He goes roll down your window. And this guy goes, nah, I ain't rolling it down. He said, I said roll down your window. And he says, no, I'm not rolling it down. He says, well, how do I know you're not in there? How do I know you're not drinking alcohol in there? You know what I mean? It's like he wants you to roll down the window so he goes.
You don't. Exactly. So I'm not
he
rolling
wants
down
to
my
smell
window.
it. He goes, what do I smell in there? That's all they got to do, Rio. Is they just got to go, hey, dude, what do I smell? What do I smell in there, boy? You been drinking? Step out of the car. Let me see your ID, man. Step to the back of the vehicle, please. You know, put your hands behind your back.
I had this happen to me once when I was driving across Texas because I had a California license plate. And they just love California license plates, pull people over and harass them. And I was driving across Texas, and the guy pulled me over, and I'm like, "Hey man, why pull me over? I'm not speeding or anything. Roll down your window." I was like, "Well, I don't really want to, but okay, you know." And he goes, "Open up your trunk." I said, "Why? You have a warrant?" That's the first thing I said. "Why? Do you have a warrant? I'm not doing anything suspicious. You just pulled me over, right?" "No, I want to see what's inside your trunk." And I eventually ended up pulling over and letting them look inside my trunk. But the whole thing of being harassed like that, simply because, honest to God, I had a California license plate. That's the only reason. Only reason.
Rio, hook up S90. He's in there.
All right.
He's ready to go. Yeah, well, so the thing is like I said last night, if you don't know what your rights are, you don't have any. Right? So the thing is there's a bunch of stuff. Like, for example, you got to have reasonable, articulatable suspicion of a crime to require somebody to show you their ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or profiling. Disguised as
reasonable
cause.
No. Reasonable, articulatable suspicion. You have to have it. If they don't have that.
Or probable cause.
If they don't
the guy who pulled me over had no probable cause whatsoever, and I gave him a hard time about it too, like the entire time.
Had a Cali license plate, man.
The thing is,
that's all it was. That is all it was.
You know how they are.
Here's the thing. If, for example, here's another one. A guy standing on the sidewalk. He's just standing there. A cop comes up to him and goes, so what are you doing? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm just standing here. Well, let me see your ID. He says, no. I'm going to show you what do I show you my ID for? Well, because I had a complaint. He goes, well, you had a complaint. Okay, well, what does that mean? He goes, well, I need to know who you are. I'm doing an investigation. He goes, well, I'm not compelled to help you with your investigation. Asking me who I am because you're doing an investigation, it doesn't require me to give you an answer. I don't have to answer you. See? Everything you say can will be used against you, man. You know that, right?
Yeah. But they, you know, in these classes that you're talking about, though, they do tell you don't talk with police officers. You just say like, "Am I being detained?"
Exactly.
No. Okay, I'm leaving. Goodbye. You know.
You say, I don't answer questions. Period. I don't answer questions. That's your right not to answer questions. Okay, listen, you don't need a lawyer after they read you your rights, dude. Okay, you have the right to remain silent immediately because everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. How fast were you going, man? You know how fast you're going?
You say, yes, I do. How fast do you think I was going?
You just say, yeah, I know how fast I was going.
Yep.
But you answered a question, didn't you? So you can't answer any questions. That throws out your protection.
Yeah, you've waived your rights.
Don't answer questions. I've played that thing on. There's a thing.
Don't talk to them.
Yeah, there's a video on here on YouTube. It's called "Never Talk to the Police." It's an hour long, and the first 30 minutes is an attorney, and the second 30 minutes is a cop who's going to be an attorney, and he used to be an investigator. You know, and
they're telling you all these tricks, yeah.
Yeah, well, like he just tells you, you know, it's like, you know, he can lie to you. He can do anything he wants to you, but you have rules on you, but he doesn't have any rules. He can lie to you, and all this. It's, you know, it's an interesting thing. I'm not going to play it tonight, obviously, but we have played it on here before. And you know, if you have time, if you're interested in it, go look at it. The thing I'm talking about too, Epic Journeyman, is not the sovereign citizen thing. Okay, it's not you're confronting officers with this sovereign citizen talk.
Driving around without a license
I'm
plate.
traveling.
Your handwritten sovereign citizen.
Exactly, I'm traveling.
ID or whatever, yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, no, it's not that. This is actual. This has been going on for a while. I mean, what was it? What was that channel called? Was it called Cop Blockers? There used to be
Cop
dudes.
Blocker.
Yeah, there used to be.
I haven't seen it, but it's a good name.
Yeah, there's a thing called Cop Blockers where they go out, where different people, you know, citizens just go out with their video cameras every time they see somebody getting pulled over, and they videotape it. You know, and they, you know, right now the way it is, a lot of these videos that I've seen, these police videos, all the subjects all have cell phones or dash cams. Everybody's got a dash cam. Everybody picks up their cell phone and starts shooting video. And there's nothing they can do about it. That's legal. You better watch out, too. They just snatch it right out of your hand, can't they? They'll snatch your phone out of your hand. If you roll your window
now
down.
they can, yeah. And try to use your Face ID to unlock your phone. Don't ever have Face ID, man. Don't do it.
No, that's... I was trying to tell
the good
people.
side of that story, as I'm seeing the chat, so I'll put it out there, was that when the guy asked me to open my trunk and search my car and stuff, I had my Les Paul in the back. It ended up being cool because his musician. It's like, oh, 71 Les Paul, that's great, man. I like it, blah, blah, blah. It totally diffused the whole situation.
So the thing
but
is...
he pulled me over because he was freaking
if you
guy
got,
in Texas in a California license plate.
If you got facial recognition on your phone, put a piece of cardboard up in front of your phone and unlock your phone. You know, you think put a piece of tape over your camera, that kind of shit? Yeah, fuck, you're out of your mind. It can see right through the tape. See right through the tape. Literally.
Sees you in the dark when you pick it up, right? Obviously it has infrared.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Here's another thing. Did you guys know that they have cameras now that are the size of price tags, and they have them on the shelves at Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
They have facial recognition price tags that are on the shelves when you go walking by in Walmart. Did you know that?
about price tags in
and
Walmart.
the more nanobots you got inside of you, the less light these cameras need to recognize your face because they can see the luminescence.
Yeah, man.
No, I boycotted Walmart since 1992, and the reason I did is not only just because of their Chinese practices of saying made in America and all stuff when they weren't, right? Imported stuff from China, but it was because around that time is when they started putting the motes, M-O-T-E-S, motes for motes, right, in shoes. People would buy shoes at Walmart and clothes, right, and they wouldn't take the motes out. Meaning, when you went inside the store, anywhere you went, it had these RFID chips in them. They're in your products, things you buy, your clothing, your shoes. I mean, F that, man. I mean, that's 1992. I mean, it's like how much better it is now. It's how good it is now by comparison. I mean, it's so much better. I mean, but even back then, they were doing that. So, I mean, that's 30 years ago, basically.
They can backdoor anything nowadays.
Tim,
Toasters,
Tim Moore in the chat says he doesn't fucks with the police. And it's a good idea. That's what I mean. That's the thing is like you got the sovereign citizen thing going. I think somebody takes their license plates off just because they want to get hassled. They want to go start saying that shit. I just remember that. You remember this? Here, I'll give you one. Here's a blast from the past. This is how long I've been around. Remember the NIAC report? Look up the NIAC report, man. Look that up because this is when Ron Paul was running for president. And one of the things they said was if you had a Ron Paul sticker or you said anything about sovereign citizens, that you were a danger. You're a danger to society.
You were a threat.
All right, listen. It's the top of the hour. It's Ground Zero Plus. Rio, you're gonna have to reconnect us all, eh?
Yeah.
I called you at 7:57.
Yeah, time's almost up there.
If you got noise reduction on, you're not hearing the music.
She rides, let loose upon the wall. She is the night, and my loneliness and bondage she's blind. Hey, sand runs down her back. She rides from the daylight in jail. She rides time. She will make you scream. She's dead in a cool white dress.
What the hell's going on around here?
Can you hear me? It says we didn't connect, but I think we did.
I can hear you and you're talking over music.
Sorry.
This whole thing, man, we got to get this solved. Seriously. It's Ground Zero Plus.
Some of us, we're hardly ever here. The rest of us, we're born to disappear. How do I stop myself from being just a number? How will I hold my head to keep from going under?
This is Saturday night. Chilluminati. Hey.
Hey, do you smell that? It smells like pineapples.
Is that what that is?
I think so.
Nasty. It's a little sour. All right, listen, remote neural interface and biofeedback programs. DARPA's N3, or Next Generation Non-Surgical Neurotechnology Program, funds research into the non-invasive brain-computer interface, BCI. All right, so the Frey effect is the microwave auditory effect, is a proven phenomenon where microwaves can induce sound perception in the brain. DARPA's N3, let's see here. The U.S. Army has conducted experiments in modulating human behavior using ELF, VLF, and RF frequencies. Declassified military research discussing affecting mood, fatigue, focus, compliance through targeted electromagnetic exposure. Palantir and the Amazon Recognition and the DHS Fusion Centers collaborate to predict and suppress domestic threats using AI-based surveillance. This includes facial recognition, social media profiling, geospatial analysis, and psychological behavior modeling. The U.S. House Oversight Report on Facial Recognition in 2019 was where that information came from. I'm Jimmy. It's Chilluminati. I'm sitting here with Epic Journeyman, with CAC, and S90 is now here. S90, are you there? I don't know if he's there.
I am here.
Excellent.
How's it going, everyone?
It's going good, man. Good to see you. Good to hear you. So what's happening, man? What are you thinking now? It's the last 2 nights we've been stuck on this whole ID thing because this is becoming a big issue all of a sudden. I mean, things are moving fast and furious, you might say.
Yeah, you need to positively ID everyone so you can know who to throw out, right? And if you've got nothing to hide, what do you have to be afraid of, right? It's kind of like saying, I don't really care about free speech because I have nothing to say. Like, it's as foolish as saying that, right? To imagine that just because you've got nothing to worry about, that the surveillance state will never, the laws are always changing. They're always moving the goalposts, right? So one day you'll get caught up in something along the way.
Epic Journeymans in there talking shit about John Mayer, calling him low T personified.
Oh, speaking of, it's actually kind of funny. Where we got here? Andrew Meyer. He is Don't Tase Me, Bro.
Yeah.
And Andrew Meyer he's behind a company now called Mint Studios AZ. I assume it means Arizona. Mint Studios AZ. And they are famous for 2 things. The Alex Jones New World Order Wars video game, if you remember that from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And from a year before that, Kyle Rittenhouse's Turkey Shoot.
Is that also a video game?
Yes. Kyle Rittenhouse's Turkey Shoot.
Interesting. Now, did that guy win any money?
I don't know if he won any money, but he's definitely ridden this whole thing to fame. He's on the Timcast. He's on with the Luke Rudkowski. He was the chief editor of We Are Change back around the Occupy Wall Street days. So he basically rode that whole being tased thing to steady career, we'll call it.
Yeah.
He owns a company, and he makes appearances on shows, and he obviously travels around and flies places and stuff. So, and speaking of sovereign citizens and traveling, come on now, we're all conspiracy theorists here. We should know that there's a way you can answer the question of the cop. Say, where are you going? Oh, I'm traveling. And then you give them the Masonic answer. You don't give them the sovereign citizen joke answer. You tell them, oh, I'm traveling from east to west, brother.
That's right.
No ticket for you.
Yeah, well,
no, that's right. That's 100% correct. Do you know that is in career policemen, U.S. Marshals, and law enforcement individuals are almost to a man or woman Freemasons.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they are. That's a thing. It really is a thing. So,
it is a thing.
Yeah. So if you know that's a good way out. You're correct, sir.
Yeah, well, the thing is, man, if you start perpetrating, you better You better know your
You
shit.
have enough knowledge.
The William
to sound
Morgan.
intelligent.
Yeah, but you have to know beyond just that one answer.
Yeah,
What if he
you
says?
do.
What if he asks you what time it is?
There is no time.
What if he asks you what time it is, Rio?
There is no time.
It's Mason time, and just start doing the hammer dance and try to get away. I don't know.
Man, no, seriously. Literally, back in the day, I went psycho in the beginning about all these secret societies, and I really went out and learned a lot about a lot of stuff. And one of the things I was super interested in was hand signals. And so I started looking at all these different hand signals, and come to find out, there's like a whole thing. Like, say you go to a party, for example. You stand with one foot going sideways and the other foot up against it like a T. That's a way you can let other brothers know that you're all up in there.
It's just kind of funny, though. It'd just be interesting to like lure someone in and just have a conversation, in a sort of a casual setting, and just sort of pump them for information.
Yeah, do you remember the guy that was he was at some sort of a baseball game or a Shriner event, and there was an old man, and he's walking up, and this guy starts talking to him, and the guy says something about Lucifer, and the old man gets all excited and starts going, "Yeah, brother," and all this about Lucifer. And
yeah, I've seen that clip.
Okay, you remember that? I'll see if I can find it here when you
100%.
guys start talking, and I can type. I'll see if I can find it. But the thing is, the reason is that it was in that moment where I started thinking to myself, there's got to be some difference between Lucifer and Satan, because this old man is definitely not a Satan worshiper. Okay? He sees Lucifer in some other way that I am not aware of. Because there's no reason.
I saw that video,
Yeah, I'm just saying, there's no reason this little old man would get so excited about the dark.
Jimmy.
Go ahead.
No, brother, holy smokes. I kind of just had a little bit of a revelation here, because that's sort of been a problem that plagued even Bill Cooper back in the day. He said something along the lines of, if there's a difference between these two, I cannot find it, but I cannot say that they're, for sure the same thing. And I've asked John about it, and I don't think he's necessarily sure either, but he was doing a show on Palantir yesterday, and he was talking about Peter Thiel and saying that essentially you can be a Satan worshiper in two different, or you can be a devil worshiper in two different ways. You can worship sort of the traditional old kind of devil in the Anton LaVey kind of way, or you can worship Lucifer as the angel of light, like the savior archetype, right? It could be one or the other. Archetype. Exactly. Or the Mithras, or all these other things. And so kind of what I was saying is, maybe to them, Lucifer is this angel, that angel of light archetype, the savior kind, rather than sort of, I'm not worshiping the red horn guy who's going to poke me in the bum.
Listen, I swear to God,
how they view it.
I just found this video. I swear to God, I just found it.
Peter Thiel with his Mark of the Beast thing?
Shriner who claims to be Lucifer.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's hear it.
All right, I want to show it on YouTube too. So give me a second to get this thing straight.
It's an older clip. I can't remember if it was in front of a hospital.
Yeah,
it was in front of a hospital. It was an abortion clinic, maybe.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, hold on a second. This may not be the exact clip I was talking about, because the one I was talking about, I was pretty sure the guy had a hat on, and it was out in front of some sort of a baseball game or something.
I'll take a look for it too, Jimmy. But what I was getting at was, there's two different ways you can observe the devil. You can observe him as a force of evil, and why would you worship that? But there's also, again, that angel of light archetype, the savior kind, the gift bringer,
Well, the thing is where the Masons go with it, is they believe that Lucifer is the light, the true light of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That Jesus was the imposter.
Well, the thing is,
Gnosticism.
Why are they both called the morning star? Why?
Lucifer, what is your problem?
Just that, sir.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, sir.
Lucifer, what is your problem?
Okay, here's the video in case you can't hear it. Did you hear the video or not?
Yep.
I heard it.
Okay, here it comes.
Lucifer, what is your problem?
Just that, sir.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, sir.
I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say anything bad about me?
Sir, you need to be born again.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you were Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy...
Virtuous.
Virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
And you're,
what
you're
about
confirming
those hospitals?
You know what, sir? Jesus said, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, we did not do these good deeds in your name? And you'll say, away from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you.
Jesus said it?
In Matthew chapter 5.
Mercy.
No.
That's hard to believe.
So you're a Christian and you don't know that. Actually.
No, I really am.
You are.
Because I'm pure and virtuous.
You're pure and virtuous, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. In other words, you're perfect without Jesus, right?
No.
Okay, tell me about Jesus. Who is Jesus?
Well, he's my leader.
Is he the Son of God?
Yes, he
is. Is he the only worshipful master?
Yes.
Have you ever been called worshipful master?
No, because I've just been too busy. I've been working.
Working?
Been working to help people.
What
like
kind
you.
of work? Okay.
Get out of here.
See, this is what a Mason confesses, is that Lucifer is light.
Well, there he goes.
That's from They Sold Their Soul for Rock and Roll, right? That's one of the episodes in there.
No.
I believe. It's not. I'm sure it is. I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Yeah, I think it might be.
It's like 12 hours, right? It's a long series of videos. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
I mean, the thing about it is,
it
doesn't matter where it came from. It's the fact it's there, right? I mean, yeah. to believe that, like to believe that,
I saw it without context of They Sold Their Soul for Rock and Roll. I just saw it, and this is this video came out 16 years ago. Okay, so I must have saw this video probably like at least 10 years ago, at least. But
yeah, me too. It's old.
But the thing is the question that it asks is a question that a lot of people wonder. You know, and the thing is does that little old man, does he look evil to you? This is the same kind of thing. You know, there's grade schools named after Manly P. Hall. You know, there's like grade schools and different, schools.
All the Confederate generals, because they're Freemasons, yeah. 100%.
Did you know that they have schools named after Manly P. Hall? Well, they do. And so, like, when I was working I didn't
know about Manly P. Hall.
I was doing this school district job, and I was working at a school that was called the Manly P. Hall School. It was Manly P. Hall Elementary. And it was in that moment where I looked up at it and I thought to myself, why the fuck would they name a school after an evil bastard? So I went over and I started looking into Manly P. Hall, and all of a sudden I found out he wasn't what everybody said he was. And I used to play, remember when we used to play? We were some of the first back in the day. Remember when we used to play Manly P. Hall on here? And no one knew who it was, but they would hear what he had to say, and they would be into it. They'd be like, damn, what is this? Man, this is really good. Jimmy, what is this? And it was Manly P. Hall.
78 RPM records. He recorded all his speeches in 78 RPM vinyl. And, yeah, man, they're really good. And try to get them before they go away on YouTube. They're great, actually. Manly P. Hall was something of a ladies' man. He built his library and all that stuff based upon his prowess. Not kidding. That's what it was. But the thing is, he wasn't a Freemason, supposedly. He always disavowed that.
He was made of 33rd degree Freemason.
Right.
Honorarily.
Honorary. Yeah. Because he knew all the inner workings and where it all came from because of his extensive library that he accumulated.
Because his work was based on secret brotherhoods throughout time. And that's what he based all of his work on. A friend of mine...
I was going to say, I highly recommend people, if you haven't heard him speak, listen to it. While it's here, listen to it. It's really good, actually.
So, Jimmy, I looked for the Manly P. Hall School, and I got one result. It was a a episode summary of a Coast to Coast AM episode with Mitch Horowitz.
Hmm.
And it mentions next week Mitch will be giving 3 presentations at the Manly P. Hall School in Los Angeles. Links to a website that's dead now, uprs.edu. It's the University of Philosophical Research in Los Angeles. It's very,
I've been there.
Very strange. It's got an Egyptian statue out front that
I've
says,
been there.
"Thou art that."
I've been there.
Very
I have a friend that works there, and it's still going. And Reagan was devoted to listening to Manly P. Hall and in person, and his writings and stuff like that. A lot of people follow him.
Well, I was on with Jordan Maxwell a couple of times, and both times that I had the opportunity to talk to Jordan Maxwell, both times I asked him about Manly P. Hall. Because in the history of that dude being interviewed, no one asked him about Manly P. Hall. No one.
And they should. Yeah,
and I did.
Should.
And, we went into it. Now, there was a lot of rumors. So Jordan Maxwell was doing the couch circuit after this guy stole his website and all this stuff. This guy stole his name and all this. And so he was barely alive, and he was going around living on couches and stuff. And so he had put all this shit in a storage unit. And so it had been rumored a long time that Manly P. Hall and Jordan Maxwell were good friends, and Manly P. Hall left Jordan Maxwell some stuff when he died. And so there was a big rumor that used to float around. There's something called the Triangle Book. You can look it up. There's only
I've heard about it.
There's only 3 known copies of this book in the world. Okay. Someone said that that Manly P. Hall had a copy of the Triangle Book and left it to Jordan Maxwell when he died. And so, like I say, Jordan Maxwell was living in, he had his shit in storage, and the place where he had his shit in storage caught on fire. Okay. So when I got a chance to talk to him, that's what I asked him about. I said, well, that people said, so he said no, that he did not leave him the Triangle Book in his will, but what he did leave him was when Manly P. Hall would do a talk or a lecture, he would come out with some sort of a paper, like some sort of a newspaper thing, and so what he did was he had left Jordan Maxwell all his lectures, and in Boston.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, I listened to probably 20 hours of them. At least, yeah.
I used to do a show a long time ago at 6 a.m. called Coffee with the Man, and I'd play a Manly P. Hall every morning. I'd get up at 6 a.m. and I'd come on YouTube and I'd play a Manly P. Hall. And so, like, at the time when I was doing that, I was doing a lot of shows where I'd go on and talk on other people's shows. And so, but as a result of doing that every single morning, listening to that type of talk, listening to that dialogue about the secrets of the universe, it has a really good effect on people. I mean, at least it had a good effect on me anyway. And I mean, I'm just saying, putting that information into yourself first thing in the morning like that, I learned quite a bit. I've listened.
He's an eloquent guy, man. He is, and he knew a lot. And that's why the Masons respected him. That's why they made him a 33rd degree honorary Mason, allegedly. The thing I just wonder, in the case like Jordan Maxwell, right? Is he the character they based the conspiracy theorist guy on in Under the Silver Lake? I think he is. Like that's totally what that is, right?
The guy that wrote it.
I love Jordan Maxwell, seriously, but I think that's the inspiration for that character.
The guy that wrote every song.
Yeah, well, no, not the guy who wrote every song. The guy that had the catacomb, if you will, under his house with all the knowledge of everything, right? When he goes and he visits that guy. Like, the thing people don't understand about that movie, there's many ways of interpreting it, but he's on a trip for most of that movie. He's on like hallucinating on a trip for a good portion of it. And from the time the squirrel falls out of the tree and his mom had died, he's on a trip the whole time. So you have to understand that. But once you do, there's still things about it that are like little giveaways about where reality breaks and where it doesn't. And that particular part where it goes to where the guy gets murdered by the stalking whatever you can call it,
what the fuck
creature.
are you talking about, man?
Right? Yeah. Well, under Silver Lake, right? I mean, so that's the Jordan Maxwell character, though. He goes and visits the bunker, if you will, the guy who has this compilation of knowledge stored in his house. Right? That's Jordan Maxwell. I mean, essentially, that's pretty much. I think it's based on him. Maybe I'm wrong. Listeners can agree or disagree.
No way to tell. No way to know. All I know is he was one of the people I always wanted to talk to. The only person I didn't talk to.
Oh, me too, man. Me too.
The only person I didn't talk to that I wanted to talk to was Dallas Goldbug, the guy who came up with the original. He's the guy that really put together the whole crisis actor thing. And it all happened with that woman, the congresswoman that got shot in Arizona. That was the very first one.
Gifford, yeah. Gifford, yeah. And her husband was an astronaut. He has twin brothers and also an astronaut, NASA astronaut. He's a senator now. Imagine the likelihood of that even happening in the first place. I mean, just imagine all the stars.
So Dallas
Goldbug
was the guy that originally put that together, looking at a bunch of the photographs that had some of the victims had these cards on them. And these cards are the kind of cards that you would see in some sort of an event where you're training people and you're being a paramedic. And so you come up on a guy and there's a card on his chest and says, this guy's been shot in the head. You know, this guy, blah, 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 blah. And then you got to appropriately, tend to the victim. Hey, man, here's Brap Allgood and Jordan Maxwell.
The average age of the world's great civilizations has been around 200 years. These nations have progressed through this sequence from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from great courage to liberty, and from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to complacency, from complacency to apathy, and from apathy back to dependence, and from dependence back to bondage, back to bondage, back to bondage. Logic alone would tell you the republic is being destroyed.
Do you want to reverse this, Rock and Reel? Here.
I could.
Yeah, Amber just suggested it in the chat. It's a good idea. You want to do it? Here.
Yeah, I can do it.
Be
Just
interesting.
Drop me a link.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta find this.
Jimmy, while you send that to him, could I just push back for a second on Manly P. Hall?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people give him. I'm not saying he's unintelligent. I'm saying he's not an honest seeker of the truth. And I think it's more evident than anything else in this quote that I have right before me to read for you.
Go ahead.
In this quote, he mentions the plan, as in trust the plan, and
Yeah.
the P is capitalized.
Or
because
is in
it's
the plan for the great work, for the completion of the architecture of the great work.
Yes, sir. And so, but they capitalize the P in plan because it's a proper noun of an individual thing, not a plan in general. So he mentions in this quote, the plan, capital P. He mentions great work, capital G, capital W. And he mentions the eternal commonwealth. He's not our guy. I'm going to be straight up. So he says the plan. So he's talking about how when a secret society is exposed, he says the plan then passes to the keeping of other groups and other ages. Man cannot destroy or pervert the work of destiny. Okay. And then he goes on here and he says, although empires may collapse, great teachers be martyred, schools and systems perish, and enlightened leaders remain unhonored, the substance of the great work remains unchanged and unchangeable. New vehicles appear, even as the older ones are betrayed by human selfishness. The eternal commonwealth is an assignment of destiny and spiritual progress, symbolized by the fabled phoenix, which rises victoriously from the ashes of human ruin.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a good guy. So anyone who thinks like Manly P. Hall was just like me, he's just searching for the truth, the Masons just gave him the 33rd degree after he died. He wasn't really one of them.
No,
yeah, he was. He absolutely was.
The thing is,
it's manifest destiny, right? That's
the thing about. Let me just say, the thing about this information or this type of path, okay, like for example, if you're going down the path that Manly P. Hall went down, you're eventually going to come to some kind of a conclusion, because you're gonna have. Listen, when I'm not going to mention this guy's name specifically, but what I will say is, we had somebody on here who's a very popular, quote unquote, defector of the Illuminati. He was in the Illuminati or whatever. And his claim to fame is that he is a defector of that. So anyways, we had him on. He used to come on quite a bit. And so one time we had him on, and I was talking about some rituals and some this and that. And I was talking about rituals that had to do the old ancient rituals that you could see the remnants of in political stuff going on in the United States. And for example, when this is what I was talking about specifically with him, was when George Washington didn't accept the crown, that is a ritual, and if you take the crown, you get death. Okay, and so I was talking about that, and we were talking about different rituals, and I said to him, I said, well, if you take an oath, okay, of secrecy, and then I teach you the secrets of the universe, and you go out and talk about it, how is that possible? I mean, how would that be possible if someone gave you that knowledge to just let you just go out there and just start whistleblowing about some shit? It doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense at all. It only seems to be you've been sanctioned to be able to say whatever it is you're saying, because otherwise you wouldn't be alive. Because that's how serious, right? That's how serious that is. So now, as far as him and his ultimately, when we're looking at a person, okay, we're looking at their work, we're looking at what they've done, and I don't think he's a savior, or he's not my leader or any of that. What his personal beliefs are, isn't necessarily mine to judge, S90. But the thing is that the information in and of itself is the information, and it doesn't have a. I mean, he's not putting it forward in a certain way because he's a Mason, or the great work. He's just putting information out. So you like, the other thing is too. Look at Jordan Maxwell. Like I say, his whole life he spent doing this. He didn't get shit. He was living on couches. So what is the payoff for even getting into this information? And the other thing I was going to tell you was that when people start getting into this information, a lot of times what happens to them is when they started out, they were a certain way, but as they get further and further into it, they start getting into it. In other words, at some level where you start seeing certain people having certain things going on in their lives because they're doing certain stuff, and you're starting to learn about all this magic and all this different stuff, and then all of a sudden it starts becoming enticing to you you see what I mean?
Just make me someone important, like an actor.
Ignorance is bliss. Yeah. But so the benefit to exposure of this is twofold. One, you get the controlled opposition, so you kind of get to steer and put the minds of anyone thinking to look into this somewhat in a box, right? That they then have to pull themselves out of to see outside of where you've put them. The second benefit to this is a phrase from Alice Bailey and Theosophy and Madame Blavatsky and all that, and that's externalization or the revealing, right? Part of this whole thing is I am more than 50% convinced at this point that the vehicle that will be used to ride an agenda to the new world, to a new world order, right, is conspiracy theory itself. You undermine faith in the old world and the way everything's been so that you can offer a new solution. But it also exposes people. Like if you went back, I've said this a few times, I don't know if I've said this here, but if you went back in the 18th century and you were asking people about Atlantis and aliens, you would probably have been committed to an insane asylum. The only people who believed that were Theosophists and Masons and, you know, these secret societies. What they've done is, through conspiracy theory, they have externalized their beliefs in all of these ridiculous and mythological things. And I genuinely hate to use these words, these serious words in this case, because it will hurt some people's feelings, because there are people who still believe in this stuff. You are believing in the religion of the elite that you are supposed to be against. You should double check where all these things that you think are real are coming from. Atlantis, aliens, all this other bunkum. They've exposed you to their religion and converted you to their religion. That is externalization.
Well, I mean,
be very careful, people.
It's just like when I say pole shift, you say, yeah, mammoths with
flowers in their mouth from I remember. Yeah, I know all the punchlines. You do. We all do.
That's what I mean. Everybody knows all these facts, but when these guys, when Jordan Maxwell was hitting the airwaves, there wasn't 10 million dudes out here saying the same shit he's saying. Most of the 10 million dudes out here saying that shit listened to Jordan Maxwell videos and then came out here all Generation Z or whatever and got popular with it. But I mean, they didn't do the research. That dude used to have a thing on his website where I think it was terms or words or something. You could just go on there. There's like a million things like, what was the name of it? It was something called the Black Hand. The something of the group of the Black Hand. I can't remember what it was. That's just what I'm just remembering right now. So I think that was the last thing I looked up on his website when he used to have it before it got stolen. But anyways, the point is,
he used to have like Tupperware parties, right? He'd go to people's houses with a projector, like a slide projector, and like a fold-out screen, and do these presentations to neighborhoods of people. Like literally like a Tupperware party back in the 60s and 70s, right? That's exactly what he did. He still did that up to this dying day. I mean, that's how he affected people one at a time, or groups at a time. That we still, I mean, he had an effect, man. He did. Like if you look at it from strictly that perspective, he affected a lot of people, just like that.
Well, the thing I want to point out is he was down in Hollywood. He was in the mix. He was hanging with Manly P. Hall. He was rolling around. He was going to, people knew who Jordan Maxwell was. Jordan Maxwell could have easily got put up there and put his shit up there and made millions of dollars off whatever he was talking about. What was the name of that book that came out with this fucking guys? It was really popular for a while. Had to do with, I think it had to do with Mary Magdalene Jesus being married. I forget the name of the book.
Oh, right. Well, there's two of them about that. One is the movie they made out of it, and there's the book it's based off of.
Exactly.
Right.
That whole thing.
Yeah, the Tom Hanks movie Da Vinci Code is half the Russell Pine / Jordan Maxwell, his book on Mary Magdalene, and the other half of it is Graham Hancock's Holy Blood, Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Graham Hancock speaks at the Theosophical Society in London sometimes.
Well, that's the thing is a long time ago. What was the name of that show with the woman and the older guy with the beard and the blonde-haired lady, and they interviewed everybody on, the alternative circuit?
Jesse Ventura?
No. Project Camelot, exactly.
Oh.
So there was a moment.
Barry Cassidy.
Right. So there was a moment.
Bill Ryan.
There was a moment 10 or 12 years ago when I was watching videos and I came across this video of David Icke on that show. And it was in this moment that I realized David Icke wasn't the guy that everybody thought he was. And it was only because the way when he was talking, his elegant use of the devil's horn salute and emphasizing some of the things he was saying. It wasn't that he did it, it was how he did it. And it was the way that his hand moved when he did it that made me realize that he wasn't coming from the place everybody thought he was. And go ahead.
I'll make a quick prediction too. David Icke has come out against Trump, against Palantir, against Alex Jones. And if, as I suspect, a lot of people say Trump is the Antichrist and Palantir is his, I think it might actually be the opposite. I think Trump and Palantir, and it's all so corrupt and almost so obvious to most people that they might actually be kind of the last vestige of the corrupt old world before we get into the age of Aquarius and somehow we have an open source, populist, we the people future. I'm kind of thinking that, oh, dang it. It took too long to get to your point, Jimmy. Give me a second, guys. You keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, the thing is that where Jordan Maxwell or any of these people are coming, why did Jordan Maxwell get into this stuff in the first place? Why did anybody get into doing this in the first place? Are people under the impression that some like Alex Jones originally got into this just to get the word out? Like he never had an eye on making a living and supporting his family?
Speaking of that, sorry, that's what I was going to say. David Icke, if the conspiracy theorists are the stock market, I predict, if Trump keeps messing up and doing unpopular things and losing his base, and Alex Jones keeps kind of exposing himself, I'm predicting David Icke stocks are going to take off because he's essentially positioned himself in the next layer of the onion, the next layer of the matrix, to catch everyone who's coming off the Trump train and off the Alex Jones train, but won't return to the Republican Democrat baseline reality.
Well,
so Icke is setting himself up to catch all that. And I had another example of the Russell Pine, Jordan Maxwell sort of failure living on a couch. You remember Jason Burmis by any chance?
Yeah, he used to pitch a tent in Jones's backyard, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was in a live stream of his a couple of days ago, and he had two people waiting for his show, and one of them was him, and one of them was me. So, it is possible to fail, even if you are almost possibly a stooge who's set up to succeed.
That dude is a stooge.
Yeah, and so he was set up. That's what I'm saying. Jason Burmis was basically set up to succeed in conspiracy land, and in 2025, he has literally got two people waiting for his show, him and me, to make fun of him. So,
well,
I mean,
yeah, the thing is, lots of people have come and lots of people have gone, and hardly any people who have ever done this made any money doing it. And so, but the people that are making money doing it, and it's not a jealousy thing. It's not that I, want to make money off doing this. You know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is that certain people make money, and there's a reason why certain people get into a space. Why wasn't Jordan Maxwell one of those people? Okay, so now listen. Remember, I'll remind you of this too. Back in the day, when David Icke would come on the Alex Jones show, he was strictly forbidden to talk about lizard people. He was not allowed to talk about lizard people on that show. Okay, so gradually over time, and I'll point this out, you used to not be able to talk about space aliens on Alex Jones' show either. Anything that had to do with anything like that, he didn't want it on there because he wanted to be seen as a serious person. He did not want to deal in any of that. But here we are in 2025.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. Well, here we are in 2025, and lizard people are now in the conversation like mastodons with tropical fruit in their bellies or whatever. Everybody's to the point now where you actually people just won't even doubt that there are lizard people, and half of the people that you see on TV are actually lizard people.
Well, and Jimmy, if we look at the other side of the coin really quickly, if we look back at Don't Tase Me, Bro, he's turned conspiracy. Anyone who's successful in this has turned it into a business, a literally registered LLC or whatever, right? Mint Games Arizona, InfoWars Corp, etc. Right? They've turned it into a legitimate business, right? It's corporate conspiracy at this point rather than organic like what you get here.
No,
there's no limited liability corporation here, so
no. But I mean, it's like you know, the thing is the pool has been someone pissed in the pool. There's a bunch more people in the pool now than there used to be. And the pools, lots of people are pissing in the pool now. And it's really, at this point, you gotta, I mean, obviously using your own discernment and doing your own research, no matter what. Even if we bring something up on here, man, go search it up yourself. You know what I mean? We're just here doing what we do. And, you know, that's the thing. It's like I was saying, back to the money thing, is like, it's not a jealousy thing. It's just that you got to wonder why certain people make it and certain people don't. And you got to ask yourself a question, like when you know about the technology and the algorithms and all this other shit. I mean, realistically, you could just put somebody in a position and just drive a bunch of traffic over their direction and give them a bunch of fake subscribers, you know, put some big guests on there. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, it's the new hot show to listen to.
That's exactly what the Council for National Policy does. They run most of Alex Jones' guests. They run WorldNet Daily, Mint Press News. They run all these companies, and they basically there are speakers bureaus, All American Speakers Bureau, Ambassador Speakers Bureau, just loaded up with these people. You know, and they get paid for all this. They get paid to go on the show.
Here's another
Alex
one.
Jones gets paid to do the show.
Josh Reeves. I mean, you want to talk about the CNP? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how me and John originally hooked up as friends, is because he knew who Josh
Wall, yeah.
He knew who Josh Reeves was, and he knew about the CNP. And him and I, at the time, there was nobody talking about the CNP. People quit talking about it after Josh Reeves went off the air. And Josh Reeves never made a single dime. Josh Reeves, he still probably hasn't made a dime.
Yeah, he makes a lot of documentaries that he sells for $10. He actually had a 5-part $10 each documentary on Under the Silver Lake, where he analyzed every single frame of the movie down to which guitar was a replica of which musician. They had
That's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you got to go watch it actually, because they had a Beatles one for McCartney, but it was strung for the other hand. And stuff like that, in that scene with the musician maker and stuff.
Man.
And the masks on that conspiracy guy's wall are all actual people's faces.
John,
it's worth it. And if you want to support Josh Reeves, because I still like Josh. He doesn't talk about the CNP really anymore, probably because it wasn't bringing him much money.
What happens to you when you do?
It was the Texas Wall thing, though, right?
I was doing a show on Truth Frequency Radio when we were on there. And we got this Monday show. And we were going to start doing a round table. And the first round table happened, and nobody was there except for me and John, because it was going to be Billy and somebody else. And so John showed up, and that was the day that we started talking about the CNP, and we started talking about, and I personally started talking about how the CNP has lists of these Christian conservatives, and how that is the fattest booty of all internet listeners, is because Christian conservatives have money. And we started listing some people, and next thing you know, we got thrown off of TFR, literally within a week. Because I think we might have mentioned. I mean, I'm pretty sure we might have mentioned Brooks Agnew in there. Just because I
recall that. I wasn't there for that conversation, but I remember that. And the thing about it is,
can I finish real quick? You want to hear something funny? Listen to this. I was in the chat one time with Brooks Agnew at Truth Frequency Radio, and I mentioned something about Scottish Freemasonry and the Jews, and I pointed out there was you can't teach secrets about the Jewish inner workings with people who aren't Jewish. So the only way you could do that would be to have some sort of an organization where they had to take an oath. And Brooks Agnew said they're coming to get you, Jimmy, in the chat after I said that.
Interesting.
I
Take a
remember
look at that guy.
You remember that, Ria?
Yeah. And we had a little thing about dancing naked in the field.
Oh yeah, well, there's a whole.
I recall the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing. I just don't know why. In today's world, this is kind of a mystery when it shouldn't be a mystery at all, right? Like we kind of know what's going on here. Like for example, the CNP. What are they? They're not Christians. It's in their name, but it's not Christian at all. It's all about
their motto is Judeo-Christian values.
It's the Council for National Policy.
But
Right.
but they pose as Christian, but their tagline, and you'll see Tim Pool and Alex Jones use it. They call it Judeo-Christian because it is Israel first, right?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by it's in their name. It's not that it's in the Council for National Policy name.
Yes.
I mean that is their creed. That is what they're all about, right? But the thing is, it's not about Christianity in the slightest. It's about making money. It's about using those religions as money-making tools to pursue wealth on the behalf of the people who are in it. It goes all the way back to Pat Boone, and ironically, Sharon Tate. How Pat Boone recruited Sharon Tate way back then, right? Way back then, and that became, she was a poster child, literally kind of, because she wasn't the age at the time, for the magazine, the National Armed Forces magazine at the time, and then she comes over and becomes a famous actress. But it's not a coincidence that she becomes a targeted person for the Manson family at all.
Rio, are you working on Jordan Maxwell?
Yeah, Sharon Tate, her old man was military though. He was.
He was a colonel. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is Rio? See if we only got 10 minutes left here. We got to find out if Rio's got this. Working on this Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah, the Sharon Tate thing's a pretty deep thing.
Can you hear me?
At time, I guess. But it's
Can
amazing.
you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
What's up?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Epic German?
Yeah, you got 10 minutes. I heard that.
Yeah. No, I said we're trying to get a hold of Rio here. Rio, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Are you working on that Jordan Maxwell thing?
I am.
All right. We got 10 minutes left. Are you going to make it?
It's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. Are we gonna make? We gonna make it in this 10 minutes, or we got to go into overdrive?
We can do it in what I got in 10 minutes.
All right. You want to finish up whatever it was you were trying to say there, Epic Journeyman?
No, because it's too long. It's too long to get into. But it's something for another show. We've talked about it before, but it's really interesting. It really is. Like, it's phenomenally interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Pat Boone's an interesting character too. He was he took over the gold sponsor of Bill Cooper after Bill Cooper passed away. So I think the CNP killed Cooper and then took over his sponsor's company.
Yeah, and then
see what I'm saying?
You filtered everybody over to the Alex Jones operation.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And then I think his co-host was the one covering.
Right, because he's controlled opposition. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think that this guy Brap Allgood stitched these clips together on purpose to have a reversed message.
Really? Well, Brap Allgood used to be in the chat when Chris and Cherie used to do their Truth Frequency radio show back in the day on Oracle Broadcasting. Brap Allgood was one of the guys in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Interesting. So, this is like starting at the end of the song, right? So the first thing you'll hear, it says, "We need this alert," and it's
You just went away. Oh shit!
Right, we need this alert.
You just,
we need this
you
alert.
just, you just went
No,
away.
no, the audio is coming through. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then it says, unmasking it, they're hurting us. We lose.
Huh.
Right? And then it says, mirrors, screw you. It says, we're all here to worship the light. Take your light home. Worshipping will suck you soulless.
We're not hearing. We're not hearing the reverse.
We just hear your microphone. So we hear bits of your microphone.
We're only
but we don't hear
hearing
the
you.
audio.
Yeah, we're only.
You're only hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're not hearing the audio?
No. Turn off your noise reduction.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I hear it in my headphones.
We all love Teams.
This is
Try it
so
again.
irritating.
Try it. I know.
Right.
Try it again.
All right, my mouse is going wacky now. All right, let's try this.
The more
Yes.
successful they become,
You heard that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
arrogant and out of control they are. They're scurrying to do anything and everything they can now. It's a feeding frenzy, feeding frenzy, feeding frenzy, feeding frenzy.
All right, so here we go. The feeding frenzy is we need this alert. Right, we need this alert over and over.
Wow.
Then there's some little noise there, and it says, unmasking it, they're hurting us, we lose. Mirrors screw you. And then it says, we're all here to worship the light. Take your light home. And then worshiping will suck you soulless.
Okay, so he said worship the light, and then he said worshiping will suck you soulless.
After he said take it home.
We're all here. He says, mirrors screw you. We're all here to worship the light. Take your light home. Worshipping will suck you soulless. It says, ask it. You'll see it's the mission. Ask it. You'll see that it is the mission. So, I think these phrases were intentionally stitched for exactly this purpose, because it's not really congruent going forward. It's just little statements.
Weird.
Well, they were recorded in 78 RPM vinyl, right? All those speeches are 78 RPM vinyl from 1930 or 1920, whatever, 1930s generally. And I think that's pretty important, actually. I do. I think it means something. I think it does. Because what can you do with a vinyl record? You can spin it backwards, can't you?
Well, that was Jordan Maxwell was doing this in the 30s. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is the speeches.
Because that's Jordan Maxwell's voice.
Yeah, no, but the speeches that were done by Manly P. Hall were done in 78 RPM, right? And they were on vinyl records, or all recorded on vinyl records. And so did Jordan Maxwell and some of his things, and not 78 RPM, but the idea of being their vinyl records that could spun backwards is, I think, important. I do. I think they're meant to be spun backwards, like listen to Hotel California backwards. It's meant to be there for you to find.
Ourselves
maybe I'm wrong.
and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. Yeah. Claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying.
Do I deserve that? I don't know.
It's gonna make the difference.
It does make a difference. It
All right,
does.
listen. We got a couple minutes left. Rock and Rio, is there anything else?
Yeah, I could keep going with this. But
did you want to go into overdrive just a little bit?
We
We're about to
could.
leave ground zero plus here. About 3 minutes.
6 inches in
Well,
front of
and
your
we'll have to
face.
restart the call.
Now I can't.
Yeah, restart the call.
There's 6 inches in front of your face.
We can't make it do it.
There's 6 inches in front of your face.
Right there.
There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And either we heal now.
Well, it's good to be a part of the Ground Zero Plus team. I'll be back here tomorrow for the Sunday morning wake and bake. We appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe, man. Go ahead, Chris. We're going to go into overdrive on Ground Zero Plus with Chris. And we'll open up the phones. Ground Zero Plus. It's the Chilluminati Overdrive Edition. Oh yeah. That is Polythea with Here Comes Steve Vai. I'm just going to stay here and let Steve Vai rip one out here real quick. We'll give Rio a couple more minutes. Here comes Steve Vai. There goes Steve Vai. Well, it was nice of Polythea to have Steve Vai come by. D. Hodges says he's trying to find some Masonic info. Well, man, you know, there's quite a bit of stuff available to you right on the internet. Stuff that wasn't available to you in the past. You would have to ask one to be one. All right, there goes Polythea. Rock and Read, you there? I don't even know. Am I on the call? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there is a call. All right. Now I see you guys. All right, so what do you guys think about this here? Should we make this into a shirt?
Oh, your Chilluminati icon, the thumbnail for the video?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I actually thought that was kind of cozy. I mean, maybe get rid of the 33 at the bottom, but like the rest of it, yeah, it's kind of pretty cozy.
I think actually when I saw the 33, you should take it off his pants and put it in a thermometer. Like he's sitting on the beach with the thermometer and it's 33 degrees.
You know what? That is a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I even think that's a good color too. Just the shirt itself.
It is like green.
Yeah, green. There he goes.
I like it.
Me
It's
too.
a khaki green.
It is.
What is 33 degrees in Fahrenheit? It's like 90 degrees, right? Something like
no,
that.
Time.
In Fahrenheit, it's a little bit above freezing. You know.
You mean centigrade?
Well, I would go good with chill. You know.
91.4.
33 degrees is a chill degrees. It's cold. You know.
No, 33 degrees in Fahrenheit is 91.4. Like 33 degrees Celsius would be 91.
Yeah, it's 91.4 Fahrenheit.
So that fits perfectly with the dude sitting out. You should put it as 91.4. And see if, and 33 on the other side, and see if people get the reference.
That's funny. All right, listen. Have you gone to the extremes? Because we are now in overdrive. And, Alex Jones used to go into overdrive just to get rid of Jack Blood. And he took over Jack Blood's spot. Was 2:00 Pacific after the Alex Jones show, and they'd go into Alex Jones. I'm going into overdrive. Took.
I got a story about Jack Blood real quick while Rio. Jack Blood went live a year or so ago on YouTube. And then I talked to him in chat and he never came back again. I asked him about the CNP. I asked him if he'd ever heard of it. And he said, oh, yeah, actually, I have heard of it. I think I know someone who's in it, but I'm not going to say their name. And I just said Jerome Corsi. And he's like, how did you know? And he just never came back to YouTube.
That's a trip.
That's weird.
I used to listen to his show every day. He was a good dude back then. But there was problems.
He got pushed off to the side, it seems like, right? Like that's what we were talking about, like the ones who make it and the ones who don't. He's definitely one of the guys who seems like he got pushed off, you know?
No, I mean, I've done a show about it. Alex Jones pushed him off because there was some shit going on with somebody that was running for office in Texas. It was some woman.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and he was behind her in the campaign, and he was going against the Jones organization. And there was some whole thing that happened between Jones's ex-wife and Jack Blood. And this when Jack Blood's leg was fucked up. And So some shit happened. It was all at the same time. Mike Rivero got thrown off GCN.
What happened to his leg? Out of curiosity, do you know?
So, I don't know. Something happened, but there was a thing where he got threatened in the middle of the night, and there's a whole. You can find this video on YouTube if you type in Jack Blood, Alex Jones, or something. Just type that in, and there's a whole hour-long conversation of him when he went on the air after this happened to him, and talked about everything about the Alex Jones operation. And this was back when. Oh shit, I can't remember. Aaron Dykes was Alex's main guy that worked with him, and Aaron Dykes used to do all of Alex's videos and do all his documentary shit. And yeah, this is a long time ago. But
I remember that guy. I'm trying to remember now. Oh, good.
He that stuff he says on there. I wonder if that Jack Blood video is still on there. I'm sure it is. I could probably find it, but we don't.
I've seen it in the last couple of years.
We don't have any time for it right now. Rio, jump in here. I'll go see if I find that Jack Blood video. You there, Rio? No.
What's that?
You there?
Yeah. I'm here.
Are you going to jump in with some more of this Jordan Maxwell shit?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and jump in. I'm going to look for this Jack Blood thing.
I mean, Aaron and Melissa Dykes. I mean, that's Truth Through Media. They did great work, man. They're really good. Friends of the show. I mean, seriously. Yeah. I think that I mean, eventually people like us and them are going to be the ones who rise the cream to the top of the of everything. Because
I mean, them on?
No, we haven't. We should.
Oh, okay.
We've reached out to them a little bit.
I've been on with Melissa. With Melissa on a Freaky Friday with Kev Baker. I was on with Melissa a couple times. Go ahead. I used to have her Skype contact.
Oh, not after the team switch over. Sorry, continue, Epic.
Yeah, the team things really sucks, right? I mean, no. They, I mean, when we say they're friends of the show, I mean it. I mean, they are. I mean, we're barking up the same tree. We are.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, definitely. Exactly... Yeah, definitely. We've definitely touched on a lot of the same kind of subjects. I'm trying to find this this Jack Blood thing. Let me see. I'm sure he's purged it off his thing. He's got a YouTube channel. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he had a band for a while called Fear Porn, and he quit doing radio and started doing his band.
Well, good for him, man. You know what? People who get out of conspiracy land, good for you guys. For real. They get a family, they do something else. Good for you guys.
Yeah, Deadline Live. That was the name of his show. There's a bunch of, if you go to his channel, I see some videos. I just don't want to just click on one because I don't know what's on there. But here's one that's called Jack Blood and Callers Expose Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's the one I've watched. That's the good one. And in the title or in the description, it says Deborah Medina. That was the California politician.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep, Deborah Medina. Exactly. Here, I'll put the link over here in the chat for you guys so you can go listen to it yourselves because we don't have time for it.
Yeah, it's an hour and 22 minutes. That's some good listening.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'm trying to get over here to this window. All right, YouTube chat. Here's the link. That's some good listening there. He was buddies with old AJ. Like AJ used to call him in the middle of the night and they'd have conversations. I think he talks about it in this interview. All right, Rio, you there? Man.
All right.
You tune into the microcosm. You better watch out. You might find something out on here. Go ahead, Rio.
So here, to recap the statement and keep going, it says, we need this alert. Unmasking it, they're hurting us. We lose. Mirrors, screw you. We're all here to worship the light. Take your light home. Worshipping will suck you soulless. Ask it, you'll see it's the mission. it takes the sun away. It helps us know evil. And it says, the next part here says, that's what you risk. Throw your wrists up. So we shall worship the good. Find us, we'll F you up. We're not weak.
Damn.
So, all right. So it's it helps us. It takes the sun away. Hold on. So it.
Yes, sir.
It takes the sun away. It helps us know evil.
It helps us know evil.
It says, throw your. So your wrists, throw them up.
Throw them up.
So we shall worship the good.
So we shall worship the good.
And find us, we'll F you up. We're not weak. So.
Damn, we just climbed out of the pit. We already came up to number 13. Top of the hour, we dropped down to the bottom of the list. We've climbed our way back up. What's happening, TalkStream Live? Good to see you. All right, go ahead, Rio.
All right, so that's what I've got.
It's all too much cack. No.
I'm sure there's plenty more in here.
Well, continue. We got about 15 more minutes left here on Ground Zero Plus, and then we'll exit stage left.
We'll have to do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. All right.
It's out of control.
And worship the light, see? So it's there again. It's out of control is worship the light.
It's out of control.
Yeah, I heard it there.
Yeah. And so it sounded like so they'll live, so you live. So worship the light, so you live. That makes sense.
Take the mark so you don't get beheaded.
What's that?
And then
Take the mark so you don't get beheaded.
So you get suck your soul. It said, worship the light. It sucks your soul.
Yeah.
Is that what it said before, right?
It said, worshiping will suck you soulless.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we talked about earlier, Jimmy. There's two different ways to worship the devil, and most people don't worship the evil aspect of the devil. They worship the light bringer, the angel of light, the gift bringer.
Lucifer, Prometheus, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think maybe Satan is just the name for the bad archetype. And then Lucifer is just the name for the sort of his, maybe it's like split personality, like Janus.
It's a rebel either way, isn't it? Isn't that the whole thing? Like the whole idea of Lucifer, the devil, Satan, whatever, when you crack it down, break it down to what it really is, it's rebellion. It's the idea of rebelling against a higher authority. You shall not surely die if you eat that fruit. Although you will. I mean, that's the lie of the garden, right? You will.
But is it almost an inversion of it even further because it's what causes you to die in the first place, right? It's almost like an anti-causal thing. It comes before the effect.
Yeah, to leave out the important part, right? Yeah. Oh, you can eat it and you will not die. Yeah, that's true. That part's true. Tree of knowledge, right? But if you don't get to go eat the tree of life afterwards, you are going to die. And if that's what you are going to die, right?
Yeah.
It's just leaving out something. That's all it is.
Don't forget last night, what we were talking about in inversion is one of the things that you're trained to do, to be around, to be immersed in inversion, where black is white, so on and so forth. Good is bad, like that. All right, Rock and Rio, you there?
Yep, I'm trying to find some more here.
All right, hold on.
Do, at this point, to act like libertarians, no offense, but what will we do at this point to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? Because you knew it was coming. There's plenty of blame to share. The fact that I'm having this conversation on a national radio program, I guess international if you count everybody around the world listening to us today, is not what I want to do. 1 week before the election. What I wanted to do was to support a freedom candidate against two Bilderberg candidates. What I did not want to do, did not want to end up being a pariah for trying to do this, take down these Bilderbergers. So 2 for 1 on that one. You get Medina, you get me too. And there are people here in Texas that have been trying to put me out for years. One of those people is Alex Jones. Now, I've kept my mouth shut.
Ooh.
I have taken the high road every single time. I have never used my show or my website to attack other activists of any kind, whether I disagree with them or not, or whether they have been actively out working to blackball me or not. I kept my head down and kept my work going and tried to be cheerful and positive and inspiring as much as I possibly could while giving you the information that you need to talk to your loved ones, your coworkers, people on the street. To report the news and to break down and decode the news in a way that I didn't feel a lot of people were doing. We still feel that we are a necessary part of the freedom movement. But now I find myself in the unusual position of having to hit back. Because I do not agree with the last the 24 to last 48 hours of brutal attacks against Deborah Medina for not answering the question, for agreeing with a neocon and trying to get herself back on message and back on track. Now, if you've not heard of any of this, again, I hate to have to talk about it, but I'm going to spend at least the first part of the show doing it. I'm going to take your calls, 512-879-3805. I'm not asking you to take...
He was a good broadcaster, man. I mean, he had some... There was a network called American Freedom Radio, AFR, and there was a guy that owned that. That was super shady. There was a bunch of people on there, man. Jock Blood was on there. True Frequency Radio was on there. Vinny Eastwood was on there. There's a bunch of people on there. American Freedom Radio. And then American Freedom Radio eventually went down. Jack Blood tried to move over to Oracle Broadcasting, and then there was a bunch of people going after him about some shit that he had in his past as a broadcaster when he was doing live radio, like over-the-air radio. But just without his person, like we were saying earlier with these people and their personal shit, it's like as long as he's he's putting a show out, he's doing a show. What he does after he gets off his show is none of my business, right? He's just a dude. He's just like anybody else. He did drugs.
Oh, that's right. 100%.
We got a couple minutes more left here on Ground Zero. We got about 8 more minutes. Let's continue a little bit. Let me bump this up just a little bit.
All right.
See if he's getting into it. Obviously, Rio, you could reverse this too.
And take them out because they were causing him due grievance. Because they were somehow tearing down his operation, that he felt threatened by them for some reason. And a lot of times it was just because they didn't follow orders. They didn't worship enough. These are people that go around calling each other Lord all the time. Real funny. One night I was sitting with Daniel Abramson in my kitchen. You remember Daniel Abramson is no longer in the movement because of what happened here in Austin and in Texas. And Jones didn't know we were together, called us both, tried to play us off against each other. We were sitting at the same table. This kind of thing would happen over and over and over again. I found myself blackballed in the movement. One day, in 2008, just before another election, when I had spent almost all of my airtime and my expense on a broken leg, by the way, trying to warn people about Barack Obama, I was fired from every single radio station all at once. Even though they weren't owned by the same person, somehow I was off the radio altogether everywhere in one day.
Fuck.
Who's that?
2 months ago, when as I'm
yeah, that's Jack Blood. He says they were all owned by different people. Yeah, but all those people were probably in the CNP. This is why I asked him this question, you know? And I just want to bring it back really quickly to the quote from Manly P. Hall, guys. A lot of the fighting you see, like, remember how I said David Icke stocks to rise and Alex Jones to fall? Remember the quote from Manly P. Hall. He says, "New vehicles appear, even as the old ones are betrayed by human selfishness." He's not just talking about secret societies, but figureheads along the way as well, right? And so David Icke is waiting there to catch all you. I know some people out there listening to this are going to get taken up by David Icke when he goes full anti-Alex Jones and Trump. You guys are going to say, hey, David Icke must be on our side. He sees through Jones,
no, what you
Trump,
gotta do,
he sees through the Democrats.
What you got to do is you're going to go look at the David Icke speech that he made in the UK in front of a large audience during the Michelle Pfeiffer incident. And in that speech, he plagiarizes Bill Hicks' "It's Just a Ride" word for fucking word, and never ever references Bill Hicks whatsoever. That dude is a fucking phony, man.
Was that a stab at Alex Jones being Bill Hicks?
Excuse me?
I think it's worse than that, right? Isn't it? Because, you know, I mean, he went crazy on live TV. I mean, he had a psychotic episode. I'm not saying this because I dislike the guy. I mean, he literally did. He was a soccer commentator, right? That was his job. And he was commenting on a soccer game. And he literally went, totally psychopathic. And
he said, "I am God" in the neon tracksuit.
Yeah, on live TV. I mean, he had the psychotic episode on live TV, and that. I mean, it's amazing he's kind of got past that in a way. Like, he's evolved past that. I mean, kudos to him for doing that, I guess, for becoming a better person afterwards. But I mean, you can't really eliminate that from his record, can you? I mean, at some point, you have to go back to like who this guy is. Right, he's the guy who had a psychotic episode on live TV in a soccer game.
Well, that's
who he is.
He could be having a psychotic episode every time he talks, and the only people that listen to him are a bunch of other psychotics.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Now there's another side of this. I'll give him credit for this too. It's like, well, nobody wants to have the worst moment in their life being the thing that defines them, right? I mean, that's true. I mean, you can evolve past that. You can move past that. But this is something that really happened, and for him to never really address it, and to be this guy in alternative media, like, you know, bringing people on board for his point of view, and not ever really address what that was and how that happened, I think that's disingenuous, right? It's one of those things where you have to look at it and say, hold on, man. Look, I love what you're saying, bro, but what about this, right? You have to address it. You have to.
Man.
You know, because what it means, if he never addresses it, it means he's still the same psychotic guy.
Look at, man, you don't plagiarize somebody's whole thing and act like you said it. And so how many other things has he said along the way have nothing to do with what he thinks? It had everything to do with something somebody else wrote down and he repeated. Like he's the purveyor of some secret shit. Man, he ain't a purveyor of jack squat, man.
Yeah, Annika in chat is saying Ike, in her opinion, has gone bonkers. His daughter died. I remember that. And he made quite a turn and changed. I saw a photo of him on Father's Day. It was his two sons posing for a selfie around him, and he was passed out in a train seat as they were going somewhere, and he looked old and worn out, and, you know, like he lost, like I remember that he lost his daughter, you know,
he made some, when he started his thing over there, he made some money. And he's making money now. He's probably making more money now than he ever has in this whole career that he's had doing this.
Yeah. And his son's a famous musician. He does music for Alex Jones documentaries, or at least he used to. I don't know if they still do, you know, but it's almost like it's like the new robber barons, but it's like the conspiracy barons, you know?
The conspiracy barons. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Now that's a good name for a band. So an album, that's a good band name right there. The Conspiracy Barons.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, Digital Dust.
Digital Dust.
That'll be the first album name, right? So Conspiracy Barons would be the band name.
Exactly.
And it could just be Peter Thiel's face on the album cover.
Yeah, with like a Nazi like a wrap around his arm, right? With like some flamboyant gay kind of thing, in the background because he's
Chris
a known
is saying,
gay man, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Chris is saying we can go for another 30 minutes. So I suppose we will then. Because Rio, you're still working on that over there? No?
Yes.
All right. Well,
This radio station
let's
was
take
named
a bottom of the hour quick break. Mom's Jimmy.
The last American hero.
It's the Chilluminati. Epic Germans here. S90's here. Cax somewhere there in the mist.
I'm here, man.
Rio's over there.
He's over in Arizona. He's in digital dust, man. He's right there.
24-hour money bomb.
Man, that was a good movie. I saw that movie in San Diego at a round movie theater. White Lightning was the name of this movie. It was a guy in a Dodge Charger, and he had to get it across the United States in 3 days. That was a badass movie, man. You guys remember that movie? Did you see it? White Lightning? No?
No.
I do. Absolutely, I do.
Yeah,
I remember Rolling Thunder too. Remember that one? Like they came out at the same time. But those are the two movies that were out at the same time. It was that and Rolling Thunder, and it was like a this whole almost in a way social commentary because the veteran.
Well, he was snorting major crank and driving across the United States. And every state he went through, the cops were trying to get him, and nobody could catch him. And eventually, he ended up in this town. There was a black, blind radio host who was on the air, and he was talking to him on the air on his radio, which was really cool. It was a cool aspect of the movie. But then in the end, you know, this movie's super old, so I'm sure I'm not going to spoil it for you, but at the end, they had a couple of bulldozers in this town, and they were blocking the road, and he just went into it and died in a ball of flames. There was like the working man's Peter Fonda was in this movie. I think his name's Michael Saracen. He's not quite Peter Fonda.
Like yeah, like the guy who's like the Tom Berenger guy. It's not Tom Berenger. Nobody knows what his actual name is. He shows up in all these movies.
He's in every movie. All right, Rock and Rio. Show me how to live. What's up, Jello Putin? Good to see you. All right, listen. Rock and Rio, you there? I'm gonna open these phones, I think, but I gotta run in the house real quick. Are you there? Or you want to hear some more? You want to hear some more Jack Blood? He's about to get into it. I'll play some more of this Jack Blood while you're finishing up with that, and I'll run in and grab me.
Say hi to the raccoon.
Hey, you know what? I got an addendum to the raccoon story. So the raccoon who tried to steal my weed.
What?
Yeah,
Not again.
no, he did try to steal it, but turns out it wasn't a he. It was a she. And now there's a litter of raccoons underneath my
Next
deck.
generation.
And they're all addicted to your weed.
Man, I wish I could find a stray one and trade it to be my pal. You know, like those old movies back in the day. Some kid would make friend with an animal. You know, find a little.
Teach them to trim crops from your neighbor's yards and stuff, and bring it back for you, and they can have a little bit for themselves.
You should see my plants right now.
I'm
gonna take pictures. I'm gonna take pictures of these plants. I'll bring them. I'll show them to you guys next week. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I'm just laughing because that's like the best pickup line ever. You should see my plants. You should see them grow, man.
Well, hey, Epic, help yourself, man. I'm spoken for, but you know you can use my. You can use that. And
Right.
Just get your shirt.
You should see my plants. I mean, come on.
All right, go ahead. You guys, I'm going to jump out of here and go get myself a hot cup of coffee real quick since we're in overdrive. You want me to throw on some...
I have some cold coffee to heat up. I think there's a lot for us to talk about. So, yeah, go ahead. We got a lot to talk about.
Do you guys want to have hear some Jack Blood while everybody go get their coffees real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Getting myself back and getting the show back on the radar here. Picked up a great station, KTAE, 5,000-watt station here in Texas. I was on that station approximately 2 weeks before Alex Jones called and threatened the station to either take me off or there was going to be trouble. There was financial remunerations involved. See, I don't want to say all of this. I never wanted to say all of this. But I've finally been pushed too far because when I have to measure the cult of personality and the cult of celebrity and a multi-million-dollar operation against freedom and liberty for Texas, I don't have a problem picking sides if I've been forced to do so. And I should have never been forced to do so. So I understand that a lot of people are very upset with me taking this position. People are going to be really upset when they hear some of the things I'm saying and will say on this broadcast today. What I'm telling you is that what comes from Alex Jones Corp is not honest. He is not an honest broker. He could care less, really, about Texas, about liberty, about the Republic, about 9/11 truth. All he cares about is controlling. Controlling Austin, which is why every single activist group here has been put down. Controlling Texas, controlling the country, controlling the world. These are the very people that if they ever take over are going to be 10 times worse than the oppressors you have now. Because they have no conscience. They don't think about the damage that their actions cause. I've thought very much about what I would say today. I didn't script any of this. I'm going to play some of the clips for you. I want to put this into perspective. I'd like to get your feedback. You can call in and disagree with me. You can call in and tell me I suck. You're never going to listen to this show again. Do whatever you've got to do. For me, beating Kay and Rick, taking out these Bilderbergers, and taking back Texas is more important than this radio show. To me, it's more important than even this radio network. And even though it's not my network, I guess that's easy for me to say. It's more important than your various theories on 9/11 or any other conspiracy. This is the front line of the revolution. And when I hear a alleged patriot broadcaster attacking the work of good people who have spent so much time and effort and capital on trying to get this to happen so that we could be a proper example for the rest of the country, it just turns my stomach. I just get to a point where I can't take it anymore. I can't look the other way because every time I do, this continues. It continues on and on and on and on. So I don't care if I have to throw myself under the bus with Deborah Medina, then I don't care.
He don't care. There's a bunch of stuff in here, man, that he's, like I said, I didn't have this all lined up for you so you could hear all the juicy bits. The juicy bits. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Pacific, is going to be the Sunday morning Wake and Bake. All right, Rock and Rio, what's it looking like?
It's pretty good, actually.
Is it really? Good, I'm glad, because, I mean, it's worth it. Everybody's stuck around. We're sticking it out.
I don't have it all scripted, but I can kind of do it as we go.
Okay.
I have the first part here, so this is now in the beginning. It says, here's the sales pitch now. Is the deal private? You should buy some. You should push it and not comment. So here's the sales pitch now. Is the deal private? You should buy some. So you should buy some. You should push it. And not comment. It says do not boast. It will be perfect. So you should. Here's a sales pitch now. Is the deal private? You should buy some. You should push it and not comment. Do not boast. It will be worth it. You'll never lose. I'm not
go
sure.
back quickly.
What'd you say, S90?
I just wanted Rio to play the one where he said it was two back, and it sounded more like he said it's revolution, sort of like saying like,
courage to liberty.
Right there.
It could be it's revolution. No, I think it's you will not lose, right? Because the deal, you should push it, not comment, do not boast. If it's worth it, you will not lose.
Okay. Then in context, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what that one says, but the next thing coming up, I think, says it'll curse you. Oh, still our purpose. It is to curse it. Still our purpose is to curse it. It will curse it.
From bondage.
Stand up now. That's a pretty interesting statement. And oh, so
these nations have progressed through this sequence.
So these peddlers shall serve the men who shan't see it.
Oh, shit. Wow.
There you go.
Amazing.
And that's what I was going to say earlier about how some people end up failing. It's like they don't know who they're serving, and that person doesn't, or that being or that entity or that force doesn't really care about using you as a pawn and throwing you away.
It's wow, man.
And then there's a couple more here, I think.
Civilization has been around 200 years.
Sorry, nose. So what? Show what mends it. Shed the light.
The world's
your soul will be divided.
I thought I heard him say the world something or something.
Average age of the world's great civilization.
Share the lights, right? Your soul whipping. It is divided. Or we have provided. Yeah, we have provided. Your soul whipping we have provided.
Damn.
It's pretty heavy.
It is heavy. It's reminding
Such a
me.
sweet old.
It's reminded me of the beginning of the show and the buggery on the high seas when that dude was getting 50 lashes with a cat of nine tails.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he's holding a gun turret.
Is that it, man?
That's it. That's right at the beginning.
It's Ground Zero Plus. That was a microcosmic venture into Rock and Rio's Reverse Perverse Circus, which you can find in its full form on our Friday night show right here on Ground Zero Plus, 9 o'clock Pacific. Tomorrow morning, it is the Sunday Morning Wake and Bake, and right now, it is Tommy Bolin with Shit Together.
You were born with a bad disposition and a heart as cold as ice.
Looks like there's a match being made over there in the chat. Linda and the Epic Journeyman.
Yeah, I know. It smells like pineapples in here.
It's cut me more than twice. Shake that down, whoa. Shake that down, whoa.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion, Amber. Good one.
I believe you could shake the devil.
Nice work. Rock and Rio.
Your soul whipping shall be provided, Jimmy.
Stand face to face with the devil. Send him running off in the night.
Damn. Private Eyes is the name of the LP. I'd highly recommend it. It's a good record. Tommy Bolin, Ground Zero Plus. He's another one of those dudes who died too young. Rocker. There's controversy around Tommy Bolin's death. Maybe someday we'll look into it. There's so many conspiracies, dude. So many times. So little time. Not enough hours in the day to get into it all. We could be like the amazing Randy. Remember that guy? What happened to him? He'd blow through like 50 conspiracy theories in the first 30 seconds of his call. He'd like tie them all together in the same sentence.
Yeah. And he would call me in the middle of the day.
He called you in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Bruce called that Enochian ADHD.
That's why we ended up not hearing from him for a while, because I finally just
yelled at him.
No, I blocked him. Because he kept calling me.
Oh, you
day.
blocked him. Oh, well, that'll explain it. Yeah. No wonder we haven't heard from him. Well, maybe we'll hear from him again someday. I was going to open up the phones, but in order to do so, I got to call myself because I don't remember the number.
Oh, no.
I think it's 831-337-8711 is the number. 337-8711. 831-337-8711. Cack, are you still there?
Yeah.
Cack's been hanging in the mist over there.
Gorillas in the mist.
So what are you thinking, man? We got
it's good background. I mean, we started off with the Internet of Behavior, and it just reminds me of Musk, who's gonna turn X into a thing. So we'll be all over that with the Internet of Behavior.
All right, we've been joined by caller 413. Thanks for calling.
Hey, it's Eric from Massachusetts. How you doing, guys?
Hey, it's good, Eric, man. Good to hear from you, brother. What's happening?
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for that song, by the way, the Steve Vai song, Polythea, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Great tune.
Yeah, no worries, man. So what's going on, man? What's on your mind?
Man, this show has been so vast in topics and differentiated that I don't know if I can get just a smidge off topic, but I just hope that big, beautiful bullshit doesn't pass that they're talking about now in Senate because of the Palantir connections. And
yeah,
that's just the thing. That's the thing that's on the front of mind, to be honest, because as you looked at it last night, I mean, that really is kind of the gateway to Mark of Beast territory. It scares the shit out of me.
I know. Well, the thing is, man,
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we got reverse speech on Tulsi Gabbard saying eyeball scans in August. So I mean, I think we're almost there. I think the social credit system's coming in. I think Palantir is bringing it in. We decided last night we have to stop saying that on here. So when we
I know. I forgot the word you wanted to use. I couldn't remember.
Pantera.
Yeah, there you go.
Our favorite musician, Pantera. Yeah. Right. Great guitar player.
I'd like to walk from the Pantera and the Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk away from them.
Or drive away in your Pantera with Michelle Pfeiffer.
There you go. Oh man, but I just hope that we're not getting turned over to a system that even I don't even think Trump's smart about it. I think he's just kind of an old boomer about it, and I think people are just telling him shit. And he's like, "Sounds good,"
Can you imagine? Do you know what it's like to manage your day, just your personal day, and in your regular life, what it's like to manage your day? Yeah. Can you imagine what it would be like if you want to? There's no way anyone can possibly think this is true. That there's a man sitting somewhere in an office working himself 12 hours a day, wringing his mind about every single problem that's going on in the world. The dude's going to get a list of 10 things, and that's it. I mean, there's a million things wrong, and he's not thinking, and even in those 10 things, he's got 10 different groups of people sussing out what's going on those 10 things. And then they give him the bullet points, and then he just shows up and says, "Hey, I didn't know what the fuck they're doing."
Yeah, what's funny?
It's not Johnson, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Go
ahead. Yeah.
No, I just mean it's not Johnson, in the president's analyst. It's not that. What it is, it's just some guy who doesn't want to spend time at all. Wants to golf instead, and he spends maybe 30 minutes doing those things.
Yeah, but I think none of them want to pay attention, though. I don't even think it's a Trump thing. I think they're just told what they're told, and they do what they do, and they get gray hair while they're in there to make it look like they've been really thinking hard, and
Well, that might be right. It might be. I mean, I don't know the difference.
Do you imagine how long does it take to get from point A to point B if you're the fucking president? Just moving from here to there and going somewhere to do a fucking press conference is like a 9-hour thing. They got Secret Service. They got this vehicle, that vehicle, this plane, that helicopter. This
money and time. Yeah. Money and time.
So in that in that period of time when the dude is moving from point A to point B, do you think he's sitting there pondering the problems of the world? No.
Yeah.
He's saying, "What the fuck are we having for lunch, Bill?"
I was going to say, Jimmy, too, I said it in 2016. Somebody asked me if I liked Trump in 2016, and I was much more for him at that point than I've become with the whole Palantir BS, the big beautiful bullshit, big bunch of bullshit bill, that's what I call it. But that basically, I said in 2016, I said Trump would institute the mark of the beast for immigration and safety, and Sanders or Hillary Clinton would integrate the mark of the beast for healthcare or some other reason. Like, we're gonna get fucked either way. It says it in the Bible, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
so I don't even think like it's a left-right thing. Like, I've heard the saying said in the past, like they're both rotten wings on the same stinky bird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Thiel is a common thread, right? It is. I mean, he is. I mean, Elon Musk. The whole idea of these three people, him and the other guy from South Africa, Ackerman, I think is his name, all coming from, they're all coming from apartheid South Africa, right? I mean, and bringing this Nazi idealism, and there's no other way to describe it. That's what it is.
Well,
to America, I mean, they're in control, man. They are in control right now.
Musk made a statement today and said that Trump is from the old America. He said that this Senate bill that's going through is bullshit. I think was the exact thing he said. He might have said bullshit on there.
Yeah, and he called it from old America, but I didn't really understand what he meant by old America. And the other thing was, I still think everything would be happening like it is epic if Biden was still in. I think this whole Palantir, like that, it wouldn't be called Palantir. It wouldn't be the guys that we're talking about. But it would still be being instituted. I feel like it's not a left-right thing, man. You know,
it will be. But those people that are supporting Trump now were Biden supporters before. So they switched.
The program's the same. The players have changed, but
yeah, they switched. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. We were talking about that guy from
It's democracy, right?
We're doing
democracy.
it. We're doing it. We're doing
Someone in the future will use the systems that they've implemented, even if it's not them, right?
Correct. That's what I was going to say. Whoever comes in next gets to abuse it any way they want.
Exactly. And so the Republicans will cry foul if it's a Democrat. Dems will, and they keep people on this eternal hopping back and forth between these two platforms, left and right.
The hamster wheel, and we're confused lab rats, my mom calls it. I'm like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they also treat us like mushrooms, right? They keep us in the dark and they feed us shit.
All right, listen, we got to get going. Thanks for calling, brother. We appreciate you very much. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. God bless you.
All right, God bless. Brother. Yeah, good bless. All right, listen, time for us to go. Everybody, say goodbye. Gotta go.
Goodbye, everybody. Aloha.
Good night, everybody.
This is Ground Zero Plus. Stay tuned for something great, and I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Pacific, for my favorite 2 hours of the week.
All my friends are scaring me, but if you forget me, then I will live. Yeah. Sister, what can I do? I'm in love with Tootsie too. Please excuse me if I am low, but mere feelings just have to show. People.
Everybody wants us to go into double secret overtime. Under the cone of silence. get my bath, I takes it out on the slaves.
So grease up your baby for a
Ball on the hill
I'll polish them rockets now
and swallow them pills.
and say,
Space Lord motherfucker.
there's a car in the field now in a column of flame with 2 doors to choose, but only one bears your name. You've been drinking my blood, well, I've been licking your wounds. Well, I shave off the pitch now and the scope of your tune. You'll sing, Space Lord, mother. Just over my cortex.